would send it back to the House. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Epstein victim groups have made clear that they support this bill as written without amendments. We should listen to them and pass this bill quickly.
CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns.
There were concerns among some lawmakers that because of all the lawsuits going on, that the administration could, not release everything that should be compelled by this piece of legislation. So we will see.
Texas lost a major court battle today. A panel of federal judges blocked the state from using a new congressional map that Republicans drew in the hopes of picking up 5 more U.S. House seats. CBS's Hunter Woodall on the national implications.
If this map ends up being, continue to be struck down as it was in this ruling, that is a massive impediment to Republicans' chances at holding on to their narrow majority in the U.S. House in the 2026 midterms.
The state's appeal to the Supreme Court. President Trump hosted the Saudi Crown Prince at the White House today. CBS's Weijia Jiang was covering.
This was a remarkable meeting, the first time that the Crown Prince is visiting the U.S. in this capacity in 7 years. And that is because 7 years ago, the CIA concluded that he was personally the one to order the killing of journalists from the Washington Post, Jamal Khashoggi.
President Trump said things happened, but he knew nothing about it. Trump also promised to sell the kingdom F-35 fighter jets. CBS's Sam Vinograd.
The United States has a commitment to Israel, for Israel to have something called the QME, a qualitative military edge, and now we are giving Saudi Arabia F-35s, which will greatly enhance their capabilities.
Stacey Lynn reports a bankruptcy court judge has approved the settlement of thousands of lawsuits against Purdue Pharma, maker of the powerful prescription painkiller OxyContin, and its owners.
The Sackler family will pay up to $7 billion over 15 years. The majority of the money will go to government entities to fight the opioid crisis. Thousands of victims will also be paid thousands of dollars each.
Democrats today introduced legislation to put guardrails around private donations to fund construction on White House grounds. It comes in response to President Trump soliciting private money to fund a $300 million East Wing ballroom. Stocks finish lower today. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, an Amber Alert just issued by State Patrol. Details after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, we let's see, this disabled vehicle still blocking the HOV lane down in Fife North 5 at Portaway. IRT is on scene assisting, so we're trying to get this out of your way. It looks like it spilled a bunch of oil in the roadway. You're backed up to 54 Tacoma to Federal Way, 20 minutes, about an 8-minute delay here. So, heading into Seattle, we cleared our collision North 5 at Denny Way. You're backed up to the West Seattle Bridge still. South 5 jams up on the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle still looking good at just 20 minutes. Southbound 405, we're filling in through Bellevue. You'll clear out near 112th heading through Newcastle. Bellevue to Renton's at 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. Stop and go from Inner Urban Avenue down to 516. And Renton to Puyallup on southbound 167 has jumped to 40 minutes. Heavy volumes between Algona and Sumner. Everywhere else, we're still looking pretty good. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Washington State Patrol has issued an Amber Alert for 2 children. Troopers say the 8 and 12-year-old girls were last seen with a 40-year-old woman in Montesano around 6 this morning. They say Carolyn Gleave is in crisis and may be headed to Spokane, Arizona, Utah, or California. She may be driving a 2014 black Subaru Forester. We have posted her license plate information and photos of Gleave and those girls on mynorthwest.com. Call 911 if you see them. Pro-Palestinian groups and former Microsoft employees once again protested near the Microsoft campus today. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Protesters say Microsoft is complicit in genocide in Gaza, and they are calling for the company to fully divest from the Israeli military. Back in September, Microsoft announced it would limit Israel's access to the company's mass surveillance technology. But Vinaya Agrawal with No Asher for Apartheid says that is not enough.
Microsoft continues to provide provide technological weapons to the Israeli military.
In a statement, Microsoft says it supports the right to peaceful assembly as long as it doesn't cause business disruptions. In Redmond, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A Washington lawmaker sparked some Democratic infighting when she rebuked Illinois Democrat Chuy Garcia. More from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
The vote was 238 to 186. Garcia announced his retirement too late for challengers to file. That left his chief of staff as the only candidate. His fellow Democrat, Washington's Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez, pushed the measure, saying voters deserve a choice. Washington Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner agrees. He spoke with the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
Shame on Congressman Garcia for depriving his voters.
Democratic leaders have blasted the resolution as misguided. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
We are hearing from Josh Naylor for the first time since he penned a deal to stay with the Seattle Mariners. The first baseman was key in the M's postseason success.
Can't express how much fun I had on this team. It was unbelievable. Tears of joy, kind of unbelievable.
His 5-year contract is worth $92.5 million. Weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are looking at some sun breaks this afternoon and dry conditions, mainly dry for the rest of the work week. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I know, folks, it's been a long journey. I know people would want to say it's totally over, at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That would not be consistent with where the science is right now.
Thank you, former Governor Inslee. Because the science has us going on.
It's that guy.
Really?
No, not really.
Time for the end of the day. There we go. I've got one in my hand, I believe, is news. And we've got a staple because we're high class. Let's go. I was thinking, I'm going to take you back to 2.5 million years ago, and I'm going to take you to 1759. I'm going to take you right up to a pizza joint up the street.
Oh, my.
You're going to enjoy the journey because it's going to help you later on in life. Plus, isn't it weird? Everything works out. Joe and I are big believers in quantum physics. I have a look on there. 1307, William Tell shoots an apple off his son's head. I was like, did you know that the crazy writer William Burroughs tried to recreate that same test?
I didn't.
So William Burroughs' name is William Burroughs, and then there's William Tell. Do I need to spell it out?
Yeah.
Quantum physics. There's more quantum physics in this show as well. Plus, raccoons apparently are evolving in the city. It has something to do with their noses. They've got longer snouts if they're living in the country, shorter if they're living in the city. I'll tell you why you need to be very afraid. And some more here's some more quantum physics. Stick with me on this one, Andrew. So my buddy, Daniel Flynn, from the Hoover Institute, got a great book out, and he's writing a whole bunch of different things, and we're going to talk to him about the Epstein files, then the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, the kid on the roof, and the FBI hiding information on that. And I happened to look. I thought, well, wait, isn't today the same day as the Jonestown Massacre?
Yes.
I thought Dan Flynn wrote a book all about that called Colt City. So it just happens to all work out. Now you get it, Andrew?
Yeah, no.
Now moving on. All right, next page.
Come on.
Johnson says releasing unredacted files are dangerous to national security. Which files? The Epstein files?
Yeah, that's, continued from page 1.
Come on.
Come on.
Just let it all get out there. Plus, let's see what's some of the good stuff in here. Oh, Sarah Nelson. She can definitely join us?
Yes.
Okay. Sarah Nelson voted no. If you want to see the story that's in Seattle Times today, that the city council realizes, oh my gosh, big builders are not building in Seattle. They're not building great big, apartments and stuff. So we can't get any money in their permits from them. So let's raise the permit cost for smaller builders. And Sarah Nelson, I think, was it 2 or 3 others like, wait a minute, why don't we cut staff? Why don't we make a reduction in our employee count as opposed to saying, well, we can't get any money from big builders through permits, so let's just raise the cost of permits for smaller builders.
Come on.
Plus, now that Sarah Nelson hasn't won, now she didn't win, hopefully she just lets loose on the show.
That's right.
About the direction of which way Seattle will be going. And then it's a snowy winter or another cold, long, dry one. The answer will shock you. And are we getting dumber? The answer will shock you, or maybe not shock you. All right, I need a lot of time because this is look how much I wrote. Look at that. That's a lot of writing. So those of you watching on YouTube, thanks. I'm not going to try to make eye contact because I got way too many words here on this tiny screen that I need to read. I was thinking, on Mondays after the show, I like to go to a little pizza place that's right up the street on East Lake Avenue. I sit in the bar, and I intentionally do not take out my phone, hoping to engage in a conversation with somebody that I might meet there. I met a tattoo artist once, very interesting guy, a cancer researcher, a woman who fell in love with a famous guitar player. She told me the story about how she had made him a shirt with fringes more than 55 years ago, and he still wears it and occasionally thinks of her. I thought the word occasionally was sort of sad when she said it. The other night I was sitting there. I was not engaged in any conversation with anybody, and I was staring sort of mindlessly at the giant screens that were broadcasting the Monday Night Football game between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. I realized while I sat there, I didn't really care about either one of the teams. There was a run around the end to gain 30 yards. Meant nothing to me. A couple minutes later, an interception return for 10 yards. Again, I didn't care much at all. As the old expression goes, I didn't have a dog in the fight. The game was just happening, and I was there eating my pizza, 2 pieces with mushroom and a non-alcoholic beer. The only time I was sort of engaged was when there was an obvious defensive interference call that was not made. I did react to that because I saw this as an injustice. It wasn't fair. I said it out loud to myself, and then, well, the guy next to me heard me and then said, "Are you cheering for the Saints?" I said, "No, it just bothers me. It just bothers me when there's cheating." And that's why I realized that only things that really sort of animate me are liars and cheaters, and that's kind of the sort of stuff we like to do on the show in a humorous way. I'm sharing this story with you because I've adopted this theory as I plow through the news every single day with Joe. I choose not to have dogs in fights anymore. Again, I do engage emotionally when I detect lying and cheating. They're the main characters trying to get away with something that often becomes a topic for us. Maybe I've reached a point where even liars and cheaters won't bother me, but I haven't gotten there yet. If that happens, I'll quit. In the meantime, I've taken a page, or more than a page, actually the last 2 pages of a French writer, Voltaire, from the book Candide. Written in 1759, in just 3 days, the writer, known for his dislike of modern culture, he wanted to destroy the adaptation of science, philosophy, and reason and love. He even snubbed hope. According to the French snooty guy, who I'm sure didn't smell good, said that hope was a disease. I'll spare you all of that and get to the last pages of Candide and the most famous line from that book that can help you, like it's helped me, not to have a dog in the fight. But first, let's go back 2.5 million years ago, when you will probably be shocked and would not even be able to imagine the horror of 2 parents and what those parents felt in South Africa when a giant eagle with a wingspan of 6 feet and claws as sharp as a lion swooped down and picked up their little boy and flew it off to the nest to have dinner. The boy's skull was found in 1924. It was one more example how humans were easy prey at the time, and nature were picking us off whenever they wanted to. See, our ancestors, as we have today, have poor night vision, we're slow of feet, and we are sitting ducks. Even though our brains have grown, we still are responding to the world as if we are surrounded by threats. 2 million years ago, we had to have a dog in the fight because we were probably in the fight with possibly a hyena, which is like a dog. So what does all this have to do with us today? Well, when you hear bad news, our brains are still wired, living in a world where eagles can swoop down and pick up our offspring. Our brains have evolved to lower our threat levels, to just stay engaged. So rather than fighting tigers, we fight Twitter. We look for threats and places to fight with strangers. We hate or we love Trump or Katie Wilson, our new mayor. Why? Because our brains demand that we do this, because they want to stay active, they want to stay sharp, they want to stay relevant, they want to stay needed. Our brain does. Even when they don't need to. If you hate it, if you hate the hate that you feel, take a page from that snippy, snotty Frenchman and the character of the Turk from Candide. When asked by 3 travelers why he wasn't upset about the fact that the prince had been strangled, he said, "I'm only concerned with my lemon and orange trees. I need to grow them for my daughters and myself." And here is the most famous line from that book. "I mind my own garden." I mind my own garden. So I'll leave you with this. Have some things in your life that keep you busy, small things or big things like raising your children. Start a business, have a hobby, do something that leaves you weary at the end of the day, longing for your bed. And tell your brain you've chosen not to have a dog in a fight. There you go. Got it all?
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. It's about 2 years ago I wanted to quit. Was it 2 years ago? Probably about 2 years ago.
Is that what I'm thinking of? When it was?
No, I just got sick. The toxicity of the news.
Yeah.
If you're constantly, because the speed in which news comes through, right? It's like a giant poop pipe. I remember driving behind this RV once, and Lacey and I are in the car, and the RV was ahead of us, and it had, I guess it's a pipe that comes off the back that you stick in that empties your waste tanks and stuff. And it was dragging on the ground, and stuff was coming out the back of it. And we're like, hey, we followed behind this RV for the longest time. We're like, hey, look at this poop pipe. And we kept talking about the poop pipe. And I think about that every once in a while. Like, come in here. So I get up at 5 and start reading at 5:30, start sending Joe a bunch of stories. And to me, like every day is driving behind an RV with a dangling poop pipe and stuff coming out of it. And you have 2 choices. You can either try to like get around the RV, right? You can be mad at the guy, maybe beep at him. Hey, your poop pipe's hanging down. There's poop coming out of the back. Right? You can get upset because I was like, oh, that stuff's probably flying up under my car, or it's going to be all over the sides of my door or something, right? Or you could just sort of go, well, look at that. This guy with a dangling poop pipe. And you can try to let it not bother you, right?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, I was in the lane of the angry driver, concerned with my car or the stuff coming out of the guy's car or whatever. And I was like, I'm done with this because it was just physically not good for you to be always, consuming that toxic mess. It would be like if we pulled close enough to the RV and I got out of the car, had, Lace take the wheel, and then I was, drinking from this giant RV poop pipe. That's what it felt like. Yeah. This is just not good. So slowly I have evolved. I did read Candide. I was reading a lot of Alan Watts and a lot of philosophy and stuff. I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I haven't gotten to the point where my father was when in his later years when I would call him up and say, hey, did you see that thing Chuck Schumer said? Because my dad used to get engaged in all this stuff. And that's when he used to say, who cares? Who cares? I go, Dad, what do you think about this? Hey, I'll tell you what to say. Why don't you say, who cares? I said, Dad, I got 3 hours. I can't bring up a story, set it all up, and then end with, who cares? Hey, who cares? Hey, listen, Michael, I'm going to be dead in a year. Who cares? Right? I'm not there yet. So I've decided to take the position, and Joe's with me on this, where I'm not going to say who cares. I'm going to say, here are these, whatever, who's ever doing this and whoever doing that. But I'm trying not to emotionally connect so that I have a dog in the fight. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to have a dog. In the fight. I just sort of sit back, look at it and go, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that an interesting story? So when people that listen to the show are like, oh, you're such a big Trump guy, or other people are like, I can't believe you don't like him. Listen, he's like this gigantic vacuum that's sucking everybody's attention in. And it happens in other stuff, too, right? It's going to be happening with Katie Wilson and a socialist and this and that. I just sort of take a position of like, isn't that interesting? You've done this, you've done that. The chess pieces moved here or moved there. Take a more sort of step-back position. So hopefully if you enjoy the show, it's more of a show that we've evolved in the last year. My friend Brad Jackson called me up the other day and said, have you intentionally decided to be more cerebral? I was like, whoa, cerebral, please. I kind of want to just sort of lay out the players and comment on them in a more entertaining and educational way, as opposed to, agitating in this position, because I think that leads you to develop a great big ball of cancer that then Longevity Medical Clinic has to take care of. Or I end up tearing my hair out, and then I've got to have advanced hair come in and replace it. My own natural hair growing naturally, guaranteed, right?
250 free hair grafts.
Exactly.
It was perfect timing. You and I would never have worked together at any other times in our career, because when I started, you had just kind of made that transition to not taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
And I was realizing, oh my God, this is affecting me emotionally. I don't know what to do. And then you're like, don't let it. Don't do that. Come on.
Screw it.
None of it really matters.
Come to the barn. Yeah. Let's get high over the weekend. Let's just hang out. Yeah. So. And I talk to so many people all the time, and they're like, God, that's really got me upset. This got me upset. I said, let me give you some advice. I'm not quite to the point of like, who cares? But like, step back and just examine it. Just watch it. You don't care about the guy running, picking up 30 yards on a screen pass. Just like, just don't have a dog in the fight. It's not like you remove yourself entirely from society, right? We have no interest in anything. You just create that buffer and realize, so what to me? Like ultimately in the end, so what to me? And realize the thing that's driving most of your desire to want to respond to something on Facebook or Instagram or scream or yell at somebody or whatever, or, pick up a sign and go stand on a street corner and yell at cars going by. It's that part of your brain that is always looking for the threat because it still wants to stay active. You have to learn to control that part of the brain. If you're like sitting in a cart and the brain that's driving the cart is like a big elephant, you have to learn to control that thing or it's going to pull you in one direction or another. And it's always going to leave you wanting more because it's going to release dopamine and oxytocin. It's going to have all this other stuff that's going with it. Or not oxytocin, but it's going to release dopamine and adrenaline and cortisol. These are like little pieces of candy that your brain's like, yeah, I like that. So it's always feeding off of that stuff. So if you want all that kind of conflict crap, I'm not doing it. We stopped doing it a year ago. So because if it's either I do it this way or I quit. That all makes sense?
That makes sense.
Here comes Nate in the checking traffic.
Hang on a second, John. I need you to switch to your screen there. I need you to read something for me.
Yep.
It's the Amber Alert text.
All right.
Before we go to Nate here.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, switching over. So this is from the Washington State Patrol.
Can you do it in a Walter Cronkite voice?
This is a serious thing here, Nate. The Washington State Patrol looking for Amber. It's an Amber Alert. There's a 12-year-old Vanessa. She's a white female, unknown clothing, and an 8-year-old Audrey, white female, also with unknown clothing. Last seen on West Broadway and Montesano, right, at 6 a.m. with a 40-year-old Carolyn in a 2014 black Suburban. If you've seen
a Subaru,
sorry, if you've seen any of them, call 911 or 509-725-3501. There you go.
Thank you, John. Well, the commute itself isn't crazy just yet, but our usual backups are quickly building. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett, plan on 40 minutes. Everett to Marysville, you're looking good at 10 minutes, just minimal crowding between 526 and Highway 2. South 5, you're going to jam up on the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes. Southbound 405, you're going to get thick at Southeast 8 there in Bellevue down to Coal Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton's at 25 minutes. Our lake bridges remain wide open. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes. It's slow from Inner Bourbon Avenue to State Route 516. Renton to Puyallup, southbound 167. We've climbed to 50 minutes, getting real heavy now on the south end, south of State Route 18 into Puyallup. And Federal Way to Tacoma, 15 minutes, but it is crowded from State Route 18 across your Puyallup River Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, I have become the biggest advocate for Dr. Mark Wagner. I knew a little something about stem cell procedures, and when my hip got diagnosed as that I needed a brand new hip, which meant I had to probably be out for about 3 weeks or something like that. And then when they told me that I was too old to get a new one, I had to wait because they don't want you to outlive your hip. That's kind of morbid. And so I go to see Dr. Mark Wagner, and he took a look at my x-rays, he did my MRIs. He's like, yeah, you'd be a good candidate for this thing. I was like, well, let's do it. He's done more than 20,000 of these procedures because I kept hearing about people going bone on bone. They got bad knees or ankles or wrist or shoulder. So I go in. It's a 90-minute in-office procedure. I even did the show that afternoon. Now I'm going in tomorrow. I can't wait for him to tell me, yeah, things are looking good. My hip feels great. So if you are having somebody tell you, well, it looks like you have to get a surgery, you got to get a whole new shoulder or elbow, or you got to get a whole new knee or something like that, wait just for a second and go see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, because you know what? Stem cell procedure might be perfect for you. Find him, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The civil authorities have issued a child abduction emergency for all of Washington beginning at 3:17 p.m. and ending at 4:17 p.m. Amber Alert issued. Grace Harbor County, the Washington State Patrol, on behalf of the Odessa Police Department, has issued an Amber Alert for a 12-year-old and 8-year-old females. Victim number 1 is 12-year-old named Vanessa Gleaves. 5 foot 4 inches tall, weighs 90 pounds, has blonde hair, brown and hazel eyes. Clothing unknown. Victim number 2 is 8-year-old female named Audrey Gleaves. She is 4 foot 6 inches tall, 65 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Clothing unknown. Both victims last seen on November 18, 2025 at 6 a.m. in the area of West Broadway Avenue in Montesano. They are in the company of Carolyn J. Gleave, a 40-year-old female, who is 5 foot 8 inches, weighing 120 pounds with brown hair, brown eyes. Carolyn is in an escalated state of crisis. They may be heading to Deer Park in Spokane, Arizona, Utah, or California. They may be traveling in a 2014 black Super Forester. Washington license AZB4600. If you have information, please call 911 or agency non-emergency 509-725-3501.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you know someone whose everyday actions make Washington stronger? Someone whose care, service, and connection lift us all. They're Washington's community champions, and WSECU wants to celebrate them this fall. Steve Rabel here. WSECU has been serving Washington since 1957, and they're the only credit union named Forbes' Best Credit Union 5 years running. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your Washington community champion today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Time is running out to save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. Now through the end of the month, save big on home comfort systems, generators, water heaters, and more. Plus, take advantage of 12-month interest-free financing and get your home winter ready before the chilly season starts. Trust the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest to be your dedicated home comfort company. Call Bob's today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Congress is moving fast on a bill to force the release of all Epstein files. CBS's Allison Keyes has the latest.
Let the truth come out. Let transparency reign.
That's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer moments before the chamber agreed to a procedure, meaning it has effectively passed the House version of the legislation without amendments.
This isn't about Democrats versus Republicans.
President Trump, who tried to prevent a vote, now says he will sign the legislation when it reaches his desk. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Well, today's votes on Capitol Hill came after months of bipartisan pressure to force a vote. A young couple is in jail facing disturbing accusations of plotting to abduct and abuse children. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun has more.
Investigators say the suspects, William Moore and Haley Davidson, have been plotting a kidnapping since January of 2020. Court documents say the couple had been stalking 2 families with young children for an extended time. They also say the couple considered drugging the parents and a child in order to take that kid.
Moore and Davidson are due back in court later this month. Hundreds of National Guard troops deployed to Portland are being sent home. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more on that.
Portland residents like Rick told me days before the National Guard troops arrived, there was no reason for them to even be there.
I've been here on the weekends where there are maybe 20 people, and they're peaceful.
Now, U.S. Northern Command agrees, calling their move right-sizing their footprint. 200 nationalized troops will now head back home to California, while 200 troops from Oregon will be reduced to just 100. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Military is also reducing the number of troops in Chicago and Los Angeles. More money problems in Olympia. State economists now expect less revenue than thought through 2029. Projections are down about $66 million from September. They say it's thanks to fewer housing permits and slower job growth. The Office of Financial Management says it is a relatively small adjustment. Next month, Governor Ferguson is set to release his proposal to balance the budget. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 3:34 with Nate Connors.
Not a bad commute so far, Aaron. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both 45 to 50-minute commutes. North 5, you're crowded from the U District into Linwood, close to freeway speeds here. 405 is scattered, though, between Kirkland and Canyon Park. South 5 heading into Seattle jams up at Northeast 50th. It's really thick from there into downtown. Linwood to Seattle has gone up to 25 minutes. Southbound 405 is packed from Southeast 8th and Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway. From there, you're going to thin out. Bellevue to Renton has gone up just a little bit to a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. It's slow from Interurban Avenue to 516. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 50 minutes. Really heavy between Algona into Puyallup. And Tacoma to Olympia, plan on 40 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Mix of clouds and sun breaks right now. Your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Tomorrow, some morning fog and more sun breaks. Highs in the low 50s. Right now, 49 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance. When it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, it's Home Comfort Alliance. HomeComfortAlliance.com. They have a huge sale coming up. They have a Black Friday sale. It's like, really? On heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric? Shopping for comfort? Sure, why not? No. All right, this day in history. Here we go. The John Curley Show, by the way. You can text us 1-888-973-5476. Sarah Nelson's going to join us later on. It's shocking that Washington State finds out that they're not going to make as much revenue. I like what they blame it on. Not as many permits. You think, it's not as many. You think there's a problem other than the permits? And then the businesses, there's not as many businesses. Yeah, because you're taxing everybody.
They also mentioned, I didn't put this into the newscast, but transportation revenues are also $67 million below the September forecast.
What's the transportation revenue? Is that car registrations?
Fuel tax collections, vehicle and truck registrations, and slower than anticipated rollout of the speed safety camera program.
Okay.
There you have it.
When you tax something, you get less of it. When you subsidize something, you get more of it.
One more note, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you'd like one more note. The losses could have been bigger.
Oh, good.
But they were actually...
They will next quarter.
They were offset from this tobacco master settlement agreement. So I guess there was some sort of lawsuit with tobacco.
Still milking that one?
Yeah. I don't recall this, but they're getting more money from that, offsetting even larger losses.
Okay.
There you have it.
We need to sue some more.
It all works out to $66 million less than expected.
Come on, everybody. Work harder. And again,
learn some economics.
Exactly. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. All right. Stay in history. But give it the phone at 1-888-973-5476. Okay. At 1306 or 1307, William Tell shoots an apple off his son's head. Does anybody know why?
Nope.
Hit the music at William Tell Overture. I'm not going to bother reading the rest of the history stuff.
Banger.
Here we go. According to legend, Tell refused to remove his hat in deference to the Austrian governor of Switzerland, Albert Giesler. In punishment, the governor said to him, "Your choice is either to be executed or stop the music for a second. I can't think of something else. Or shoot an apple off your kid's head." Tell's like, all right, well, the choice between being executed and possibly executing my son. I'll shoot the apple off my kid's head. Being a perfect marksman that he is, he attempts it and succeeds. He then turned to the governor and he said, "If I had failed, my next arrow would have killed you, sir. Good sir." Well, the governor didn't like that. He's like, "Yeah, well, you're going to prison." That wasn't part of the deal. It was like either you get executed or shoot an apple off your kid's head. Where the prison stuff come in.
Double jeopardy.
It was because William Tell wasn't respectful to the guy. Well, anyway, he ends up escaping as they're taking him off to prison. In the you know what happens? William Tell comes back. Guess who he shoots? The governor with the crossbow in the parlor with a candlestick. I'm sorry, that's some Clue. The incident sparked the William Tell Rebellion. And in the rebellion, the Swiss communities formed a confederation that eventually succeeded in throwing the Austrian occupiers out of the region. And now to a sadder note. William Burroughs, who I discovered when I was in my 20s, wrote a book. He's written a bunch of them, but Naked Lunch was one of my favorite. And it's dark. I mean, there's some dark stuff in here. You ever anything? Did you find anybody reading it?
I put it in there.
Is it pretty nasty? Anyway, William Burroughs, hang on a second. Here's the obscene fever dream from Naked Lunch.
Lonely librarians unite in soul kiss of halitosis. That grippy feeling, brother? Sore throat, persistent and disquieting as the hot afternoon wind? Welcome to the International Syphilis Lodge. Methodith episcopal goddamneth. Phrase used to test for speech impairment, typical of paresis. Or the first silent touch of canker makes you a member in good standing. The vibrating soundless hum of deep forest and Oregon accumulators. The sudden silence of cities when the junk cops and even the commuter buzzes clogged lines of cholesterol for contact.
Okay, it's not exactly family feel-good stuff. Okay, so William Burroughs is in Mexico, and the only woman he ever loved, he's there with her and a couple of friends. It's like early in the morning, I don't know what they've been doing. And William Burroughs says that he's such a good shot, he's going to prove that he's going to do the William Tell move. So he has his wife put a glass, like a shot glass, on her forehead, and he takes out a gun. What did he have? He had a Chechen-made Star 38 caliber pistol. He misses the glass, hits the woman, kills the only woman he ever loved. It wasn't his wife, it was like his girlfriend. And then he was never prosecuted for it. They tried him in Mexico. He wasn't there for it, and then he kind of just never served any time for the failed William Tell experiment there at a hot, steamy, stinky apartment somewhere in Mexico City. So.
But that was prior to him.
Then he went into this deep depression. Then he started doing art, and then he started writing, and the Naked Lunch, and a bunch of some of his other work. It's I kind of have this sort of Jack Kerouac-y kind of like beatnik thing, but it wasn't quite. But it's
definitely has like a heroin.
I think he was a heroin addict. Was he really? Yeah, Yeah. But the good news is William Tell's son survived.
How about that?
There you go. Okay. We learned a lot on that, huh?
I still don't know if William Tell was a real person.
Okay, Joe, you can't do that.
Well, I just...
You can't just all of a sudden say he wasn't a real person. I told a whole story about him.
I know.
Well, look it up in the Googleating machine.
Critics are there's no consensus.
Okay, well... There's a whole William Tell overture written about him.
That's true.
As Andrew has proven. Here's Nate. Nate likes this.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, play your cheeks.
Play your cheeks. Play your cheeks. No, the other cheeks. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate on.
That's after dark, Johnny. Bellevue to Everett just hit 1 hour. We're solid from 520 to 522 in Bothell. From there, it's just scattered backups into Alderwood. Pretty hefty now through Kirkland. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. We're crowded from the U District into Linwood. South 5, you're going to jam up in the U District about 50th in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, give yourself 25 minutes. South 405, our backup now extends to Northeast 8th in Bellevue down to Coal Creek Parkway. That's a thick one. Bellevue to Renton will take you 35 minutes now. This backup on South 405 has westbound 90 slow from 150th for drivers stacking up on those 405 exit lanes. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. We're slow to Interurban Avenue past 516. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're holding steady at 50 minutes. It's really heavy from Algona into Puyallup. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, if you're a guy over the age of, say, 50, you probably don't have a primary care physician. You're like, I don't need one. Okay. So you're sort of gambling, aren't you? Because you don't know whether heart disease, diabetes, or cancer is kind of lurking around the corner. Maybe you start to develop some early signs of something like that, and maybe you go to the doctor and they try to do something about it. Wouldn't it be nice, rather than having to deal with something big like heart disease, diabetes, or cancer, is that you were proactive and you saw some early indicators of it, and then you were able to stop it before it started to really affect your life? That's what happens at Longevity Medical Clinic for 25 years. The good doctors there have been in business of longevity, looking for early indicators of the things that slow us down and make us feel like we're aging, and they are proactive. They reverse them, stop them, or at least slow them down to give you a longer, healthier, happier life. Rather than spending the last 10 years of your life just barely hanging on, you have a longer life. You want to find out more? You can be active right now. Be proactive. Take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
There's two types of people.
The G and Ursula Show.
The ones that use a washcloth or a loofah sponge.
Okay. Weekdays 9 to noon.
The other are bare hand bandits. They just grab the soap. Growing up, my delegation, we always use washcloths.
Hate to break it to you, but I think my hand's going to be much better than this brush.
Yeah, what? I am uncomfortable.
Really?
Rubbing all over myself without there being a buffer.
Watch live on YouTube and the KIRO Newsradio App.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. When the weather outside is frightful, a hot tub or sauna is so delightful. Heat up the season and gift yourself year-round wellness from Olympic. A soak in a saltwater hot spring spa is pure bliss, the perfect escape at the end of the day. Or warm body and soul in a Tilo sauna, your ideal retreat. Heck, you deserve both. Our Heat Up the Season savings end November 23rd. Learn more at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Boom, boom, boom. We got a lot of. How's Dan Flynn going to cover all this stuff in the next segment? Our buddy from the Hoover Institute, visiting fellow and senior editor of the American Spectator, and the author of the man who invented conservatism. The Unlikely Life of Frank S. Meyer. We've had him on before talking about his book. Great book. But then we're going to try to cover the Epstein files.
Yep.
What's happening, what the FBI has not told us about the would-be assassin Thomas Crooks. Plus, also survivors of Jeffrey Epstein.
Those are the 2 topics.
Okay, just
everything
else.
else.
Well, he can handle that.
Supporting documents.
He can do that. He can do that. Yeah, okay. All right, just a little warning to everybody out there. Raccoons in America cities are morphing. I read the whole article. I can't figure out why, but apparently their snouts are getting shorter than the more rural raccoons that have longer snouts. They think it has something to do with what they're foraging for. Perhaps the female raccoons find shorter snouted raccoons more attractive, so they're having more babies, and now you're getting a division between the longer snouted raccoons and the shorter snouted raccoons. You'll recognize them. So if you ever see a long snouted raccoon and you live in the city, you're like, hey, it's kind of a country coon. He's out there just running around the backyard. So
lost?
Is he lost? Put him in the car. Put him in the car and take him, right? Yeah. Which leads us to the panda's thumb, which is a crazy fun story. So pandas use their little hands to strip bamboo. What happened was one of them had like a little knuckle, like a small bone, and it was able to strip more bamboo leaves than the others, so they were stronger and they were able to procreate. And then what happened is those that had the little knuckle on the side of their little hands began to sort of take over, and there was an evolution of the thumb called the panda's thumb. And that was a theory of evolution. So that had a small anomaly, the small knuckle just continued to grow more and more. And then the pandas have developed a thumb in order to get more leaves, in order to be able to have enough, strength to be able to procreate. Huh. And that was the evolution of the panda's thumb.
So do regular bears have thumbs?
Do regular bears have thumbs? Well, bears have claws.
Right.
Okay. But a panda, I guess it's in the bear family, and this is uncomfortable that you're asking the host something he doesn't have the answer to. He's
do that all the time.
Yeah. Andrew's going to look it up.
Nate will Google it.
Well, most bears do have thumbs. Thank you for coming to me.
Yes.
Nice.
Wow, that's it. Just definitively.
Well, the giant panda has what's called the false thumb.
Yes, which we were just talking about.
Aha.
It's an enlarged wrist bone.
Yes. Thank you. What is the panda's thumb for 400, please? I'll take evolutionary species, Darwin, for 400. What would be the worst category you'd think you'd have up there if you're playing Jeopardy? Suddenly, you have a horrible dream, you wake up, or in your dream, you find out you're on Jeopardy.
It would be mathematics of some sort.
Yeah, geography would be my worst.
Yeah, or pronouncing last names.
That's a category. Moving on. You have minus 200. All right, checking Nate. He is buzzing in and taking traffic for 400, please. Nathan?
Yes, sir. Bellevue to Everett continues climbing. We're at an hour, 5 minutes. It's solid from 520 to 527 in Canyon Park now, and really hefty through Kirkland into Alderwood. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. We're crowded from the U District into Linwood. Again, you're a good pace through most of this. South 5 jams up in the U District in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. North 5, you're going to slow approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Both of our lake bridges, though, are wide open. South 405 is now thick at 520 down to Cold Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton still taking a half hour. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 50 minutes. We now have stop-and-go volumes through Renton and then really hefty between Algona into Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I love the fact that I don't wear glasses anymore. I used to have a whole junk drawer full of glasses. Pair to wear at night. I always left those at home. Anything to read up close and then far away. I went to K2 Vision, met Dr. Kopstein over there, and he was explaining to me, listen, here's what's going to happen. I've done more than 100,000 of these procedures, but I'm not going to do this unless it's going to have a great result for you. I might ask you to come back in 10 or 15 years. I was like, wait, I got bad eyes. And he takes a look at my eyes and he goes, yeah, your eyes are pretty bad. In fact, you have a little cataract in your right eye. We can take care of that. This is going to work for you. I said, let's do it. It's K2 Vision RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. I said, how long will it take? He goes, about 2 Beatles songs. I said, yeah, about 5 minutes on each eye. Sure enough, do the procedure, go back in. The next day, I have 20/20 vision. K2VisionRLE.com. They've done over 150,000 of these procedures. It's K2VisionRLE.com. If you're over the age of 50, you don't want to wear readers, no more glasses, no more contacts, concerned about cataracts, please get in touch with the good doctors there and do what I did. K2VisionRLE.com.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players.
From Lakewood to Lombardi, Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G? Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
KIRO-FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
For the news you trust.
Breaking news we are getting.
Experience matters.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Good morning. I'm Heather Bosch.
Luke Ducey, KIRO Newsradio.
We're on YouTube, our app, and 97.3 FM.
You're halfway through a DIY car fix and boom, you're missing a part. It's okay because whatever it is, it's on eBay and it's guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
House and Senate vote to release the Epstein files.
The yeas are 427. The nays are 1.
Saudi Arabia pledges major investment in U.S.
The $600 billion will be $1 trillion.
Immigration raids continue in Charlotte.
Still unsure as to how long they will be here.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, late edition. I'm Christopher Cruz. A near-unanimous vote in the House today to require the Justice Department to release the Jeffrey Epstein files.
The bill is passed.
The bill moved quickly to the Senate.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the American people and Epstein survivors have waited long enough.
This is about giving the American people the transparency they've been crying for.
The unanimous consent procedure means the Senate has now passed the Epstein bill without amendments as soon as it arrives from the House. The House voted earlier to pass it 427 votes to 1. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The bill now goes to the president, who has said he will sign it, but not when. After the House vote, survivors of Epstein's abuse celebrated.
We're ready for the next step, and we're ready to finally release the files.
All the files. All the files.
President Trump today welcomed Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince to the White House. Mohammed bin Salman told Trump Saudi Arabia would sharply increase its investment in the U.S.
I believe, Mr. President, today and tomorrow we're going to announce that we are going to increase that $600 billion to almost $1 trillion of investment, real investment and real opportunity by details in many areas.
U.S. intelligence agencies say bin Salman likely ordered the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who also wrote for the Washington Post. When a reporter asked bin Salman about that, Trump lashed out.
Things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
The NTSB says the cause of last year's collapse of the Key Bridge in Baltimore was a loose wire that caused a container ship to lose its power and its steering. Chair Jennifer Homendy.
It just didn't fit. So it became disconnected, it backed out.
6 construction workers died in the collapse. Immigration agents continue their operation in Charlotte over the protests of local officials. CBS's Skylar Henry is there.
Hundreds of students walked out of several schools here in the district, one at East Mecklenburg High School, in protest of the federal agents here in the city. And we have continued to see dramatic video of the tactics that these federal agents have been using to try to detain some of these individuals.
It was yet another day deep in the red on Wall Street. The Dow closed down more than 1%. Now this.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
Coming up, a search is on for 2 missing girls. That is after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
This report brought to us by Home Comfort Alliance. No surprises out there. A very typical commute so far. Bellevue to Everett, though, continues climbing minute by minute. We're at an hour, 10 minutes now, and it is solid from 520 to 527 in Canyon Park. Just volume here, and it is hefty 50 through Kirkland into Alderwood. Seattle to Everett has gone up to 55 minutes. We're slow from the U District into Linwood. South 5 looking great. You'll eventually hit a backup near Northeast 50th into downtown. Linwood to Seattle, a 25-minute commute. South 405 is packed from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton's taking 30 to 35 minutes. Seattle to Fairway Way is a 35-minute commute. It's heavy from interurban down to State Route 516. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're holding steady at 50 minutes. Getting heavy now through Renton into Kent, and then really hefty between Algona into Puyallup. Again, just volume. The Black Friday Comfort Sale is on now at Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 75% plus enjoy 18 months 0% financing OAC. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Two sisters out of Grays Harbor County are missing, and the suspect is their mother. New details from KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
This is being called a child abduction alert. We're talking about 12-year-old Vanessa Gleave and 8-year-old Audrey Gleave. Washington State Patrol putting out the picture of the suspect to their mother, Carolyn Gleave. She's 40 years old, 5'8", brown hair, brown eyes. Police believe they're in a 2014 black Subaru Forester. They were last seen leaving West Broadway Avenue in Montesano around 6 this morning.
And we have posted pictures of those girls and their mother on mynorthwest.com. Call 911 if you see them. Pro-Palestinian protesters were back at the Microsoft campus in Redmond today. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was also there.
This was a relatively small group of protesters, only about 20 people, but they were loud in their demand that Microsoft fully end contracts with the Israeli military. There is, of course, a ceasefire agreement in the works in the Israel-Hamas war, but Benaya Agrawal with No Asher for Apartheid says so far the ceasefire has meant nothing.
Hundreds have been killed since the so-called ceasefire.
In a statement, Microsoft said, "We respect the right to peaceful assembly and ask that it be done in a way that does not cause business disruptions." In Redmond, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Pierce County investigators make a deadly discovery inside a burned-down barn. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin is in Buckley, where a 50-year-old man's body was recovered.
Deputies say the building was full of chemicals, but don't know what kind or what caused the fire. Fire officials say nobody else was inside the building. They tell us the fire is not being investigated as suspicious.
And investigators say the property owners let that man live there for the past few months. Josh Naylor says he has nothing but love for the Seattle Mariner fan base.
I love them, and I hope they love me, and I just go out there and compete for them every single night, and God willing, bring a World Series to this city.
Naylor speaking publicly today for the first time since signing a 5-year contract with the M's worth more than $92 million. First baseman was traded to Seattle in July. He was a key player in their postseason run. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mix of clouds and sunshine right now. Will stay dry overnight and mostly dry through the rest of the week. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about
and
yourself.
Why you enjoy the show.
Why you
Thank
enjoy the show. Why do they enjoy the show? Here we go.
Well, I play bass, trying to learn the keyboards, man, but it's tough, going like that. Well, I'm in between bands right now.
Okay.
I was a part of a power slop trio. But, we didn't do so good. My best qualities.
Yeah, that's what we want to know.
I'm starting my 9th semester at community college soon.
Never got around to the show. Got it.
Diving in the new John Curley Show. There we go.
Never let down. It's your walk-on music. Daniel Flint, your walk-on music. Can you hear it?
I can't hear the music, no.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
Come on. This is your walk-on music. I got Never Let Down by Andrew W.K. Hook. Who's that?
Well, it doesn't matter if I hear it. If you guys hear it, that's
No, it's all part. We're all in this together. All right, look.
I know what it sounds like. I just picked the dumbest song I could think of that had a sort of a thus spoke Zarathustra vibe to it, but is a little bit more modern way, that there was something big coming.
Yes, I understand. I understand. If you see that or UB40. All right. First of all, people have said to me all the time, what do you read? You read a lot. You read a lot of stuff. What do you read? I said, my morning starts when I get a text or an email at I think it's at 2:40 a.m. because you're on the East Coast there. And it is from Daniel Flynn from American Spectator. Normally, you'll cover like 5 or 6 topics. You get down to the bottom. There's always humor in there, and then you take a letter that somebody has sent you in there. So I know your whole life, Dan. I know that you weren't feeling well. You feel a bit of a cold coming on the other day, and then you did something ridiculously impractical. You did a really hard workout. Then you got sicker, and then the last line of the one email I got was, there's nothing makes you feel better or something about a roaring fire, a wood fire at 70 degrees, right, where you're inside and you're there in Vermont and the ravages of the cold are not going to defeat you. You are what I start every day with, the perspective of the world. I get through the eyes of Daniel Flynn, a Hoover Institute visiting fellow and a senior editor, American Spectator, and also the author of The Man Who Invented Conservatism, The Unlikely Life of Frank S. Meyer. And I am almost finished the book, and man, what a life that guy's had. But Dan, you're on the day. What topics have kind of been bumping around in that head of yours?
Well, strangely, it's Jeffrey Epstein, because this is a topic that was around almost 10 years ago, right? But It's the biggest topic of the day, with the House voting 427-1 to say, release this guy's files. It looks like the Senate's going to vote very quickly. I thought the one guy, usually the one person that votes against everyone else, they usually have a pretty good reason. It used to be Ron Paul back when he was a congressman, or Barbara Lee from San Francisco or Oakland. This guy, he said, listen, this is sort of like a bill of attainder in the sense that we're going to release raw files on thousands of people. Most of them probably have not a whole lot to do with Jeffrey Epstein other than sort of exchanging emails. But we know that all the other people, the Noam Chomskys of the world, the Larry Summers of the world, the people that have come out in material that we've already seen, there seems to be a lot to hide. A lot of these people are on the left side of the equation because, of course, Jeffrey Epstein was. And so a lot of people are out there saying, well, are they hiding things because these are powerful people, these are politically connected people, or are they hiding things because there are foreign intelligence agencies and American intelligence agencies involved in this? And so I think the bottom line with it all is that if you don't want to have conspiracy theories flourish, release the information immediately. That's the lesson of the Kennedy assassination. I'm the last person in the country that believes that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. But I think if they had released that information on November 25th, 1963, a whole lot more people would believe as I do. And I think, unfortunately, with the Epstein stuff, when you don't throw out information, people are going to fill in the void with all sorts of theories. Some of these theories may be true. They may prove to be true. But I think we're going to find out some of this. I don't think we're going to find out all of it. They're going to say we're releasing all the files, and 20 years from now, we'll realize, well, they didn't release everything. Yeah, well, let's go down the rabbit hole that there's international espionage involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So this is nature hoarding a vacuum. The vacuum forms a rabbit hole. So down we go, Dan. So what they're saying is that he was somehow tied in with Israel somehow, and that Israel was using Epstein to get powerful people in compromising positions with underage girls, and then that would be used in order to get influence in the United States from Israel. That's one of the rabbit holes, right? That he was actually part of the Israeli, secret defense or something. Will any of that come out? Is that why they're hiding this stuff? That's a speculation. I've also heard stuff about other foreign intelligence agencies, but it makes a little bit more sense with Israel, given that A, Epstein's Jewish, and B, his paramour, or I don't know what she was, Miss Maxwell. I mean, her dad was apparently an agent and was murdered, and we still or drowned. I don't know. We still don't know how that guy died, but he apparently was involved in all this sort of things. And the theory is that Epstein was as well. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's true that Bill Clinton is incriminated in this more than what we already know. I just know that when you don't release the information, that everyone is going to jump to conclusions. And some of the people that already have it in for Israel, they're jumping to some pretty big conclusions. People that already have it in for Bill Clinton, they're jumping to some pretty big conclusions. So I think if in a responsible manner they release this information, it'll probably be good to kill some of these ideas, unless some of these ideas are true.
But down into these rabbit holes, Daniel Flynn, what you end up with is you think, well, is this all the information? Is this part of the information? Now, you're still the only person in America that believe that Oswald got off all 3 shots, and somehow the magic bullet went up and then went through the wrist of Connolly. Leave that aside. That I don't trust any of it. None of it. Right? So, like, even if you go to Matthew Crux, or Thomas Matthew Crux, the guy that apparently tried to assassinate Donald Trump, then you get into all this stuff like, why did they take the body off the roof so fast? Why did they clean off the roof so fast? Why was the autopsy not done? Why was he cremated within a few days? Why did the coroner not sign off on anything? There was way too much stuff that people still like, move on, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Then you get into that rabbit hole, you don't trust any of this sort of stuff that's coming to you.
Yeah, usually I like, most conspiracy theories I just immediately dismiss. And unfortunately, in 2025, we're in sort of a world of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
The one about the French first lady. I mean, I thought their marriage was sort of embarrassing enough. There's like a 25-year age gap, and she met him when she was 40 and he was 15. I think there's a lot to work with as stands there. And yet there's people that want to add to that and say all sorts of disparaging remarks about the first lady, that maybe she's not actually the first lady. I mean, to me, a lot of this stuff is crazy. Yeah. However, yes. the Crook stuff, we're just learning now that, he was into all sorts of weird, shock of the year. He's a furry, apparently. Online, he occasionally used they, them pronouns. He was into, I don't know what you'd call it, but like really strong women kind of dominating weakling men. Those were some of his search engines. And apparently around the time of COVID, he sharply swung from left to right. We heard a lot from the Biden people saying, oh, no, he was a Republican. He was conservative. Well, no, it turns out now that he had a lot of anti-Trump views. We're finding that out from the New York Post. Why did they keep that silent from us? We should know all that kind of thing. But it gets back to the Oswald thing. Oswald was a communist. And, from my perspective, almost immediately, the Communist Party went into overdrive, Mark Lane went into overdrive, trying to create all these conspiracy theories. And I think the Biden administration may have done that with this Thomas Crook character, because it was, what happened was obviously tailor-made. If he had shot the president, if he shot Donald Trump, it wouldn't have been tailor-made for Trump. But what happened was the most dramatic event, and Trump handled it so well that it essentially elected Trump to the presidency.
Yes.
But I think at that point, the Biden people thought, oh, maybe we can hide some things and make it even harder for him. But it didn't work out.
But I guess the thing is, if you just believe, like, for instance, I was reading a bunch of stuff, what they were going to do when Cuba and Kennedy was concerned that Cuba, were going to come up with all these red flag things, that they were going to kill civilians. They're going to set off bombs in the United States and make it look like Cuba was doing it. They were going to paint American planes to make them look like MiGs. This whole plan, they presented to Kennedy. He's like, yeah, we're not going to do any of that stuff. But the fact that they would come up with those plans and even present it to the president. So we see that the United States has been involved in a whole bunch of different things, right? So then you're like, you don't trust any of the stuff that comes up. So that's why the conspiracy step in. Like, why do we not know anything about this kid? Did they hold back his tendencies to they, them, and the same way they had the information about Audrey, who went in there, the girl that went in there, shot those people at that Christian school? They withheld because they don't want people to think, oh, all these trans people have got problems and they're all murderous. So they give us only some information because they want to direct our attention in another way.
Well, I think the suspicion is that, at least for a lot of people on the political right, is that we witnessed the politicization of intelligence agencies over the course of the last 8 or 9 years in trying to, this phony dossier about Donald Trump, that tried to derail his election in 2016, that we later found out was financed by the Clinton campaign. Later, the FBI arresting Donald Trump in his home, and the 717 and a half years that he faced in jail. All of this was a politicization of both law enforcement, of district attorneys across the country, of federal law enforcement. and especially of the Department of Justice. And so I don't think people trust the Department of Justice anymore. And if you have people like James Comey and Christopher Wray and Andrew McCabe running the show at those particular agencies, or Brennan or Clapper, people are going to have a whole lot of distrust. You don't want to have partisans in those jobs. But unfortunately, going back to John F. Kennedy, I mean, he put his brother as the head of the Justice Department. And it's not as though Clinton and Obama have done that, but they've put in people that are hyper-partisan. We saw how hyper-partisan Merrick Garland was. That's not a good idea. It's not good for the country.
Right, because ultimately, when you lose faith that what you're getting from the government is the truth, we have the lowest respect for media and honesty, and I think the government is right in there as well. The decline began right around Watergate, which leads us to the anniversary of Jim Jones. Did you know it was today?
I until you
Daniel
said that,
Flynn,
I know it now.
Dan Flynn, you wrote the book on it. Cold City, Jim Jones and Harvey Milk in 10 days that shook San Francisco. You wrote the book on the whole thing about explaining what everybody thought happened there and who Jim Jones was. Your book basically lays it out from so many years ago, saying, no, everything you heard wasn't true. Here's who Jim Jones really was. Here's who Harvey Milk was. That it's called Cold City. It's the anniversary is today of Jim Jones.
I know immediately afterwards, the New York Times reported that Jones preached a mix of Christian fundamentalism with social activism. But when I talked to people who were survivors, people that actually lived in Jonestown, they said when they got, I hate even to say this on your airwaves, but when they got Bibles sent down to Jonestown, Jones ordered them to rip up the Bibles and use them as toilet paper. I don't know any Christian fundamentalists that do that. I mean, there are women that got pregnant that Jones ordered to have abortions. I don't know any Christian fundamentalists that do that. So there was a major misdirection because Jones was a power player in San Francisco. He was the head of the Housing Commission. He was appointed there by George Moscone, who was the mayor of San Francisco. When Jimmy Carter's wife, Rosalind Carter, came to San Francisco to give a stump speech for her husband in 1976, who greets her at the tarmac? Who announces her when she speaks? Jim Jones. He was a major power player. And, the Burton brothers who gave rise to Nancy Pelosi, they were a huge deal in the rise of Jim Jones. Willie Brown was a huge deal in the rise of Jim Jones. And Harvey Milk and George Moscone were also big deals in covering this guy, allowing him to gain power.
So what you're saying was a misdirection. No, Jones was part of this Christian thing. He's off on this other stuff, and that creates this wall between all the power brokers in San Francisco. When really Jones was he kind of the beginning of a communist sort of thing? Is he headed?
He was a communist. I mean, he said it openly that he was a communist. But once. He was a communist before November 18th, 1978. After it happened, all of a sudden there's people saying he was a right-winger, that he was a Christian fundamentalist. All sorts of people in the media were saying that, and people believed it for 40 years. I don't know if they believed it much anymore. There was a letter that I came across from Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda was a congregant of his church. She said, I want to start going to your church. I want to be a member, and I want to do this for the sake of my children. There were, over 300 children, 400 children that died in Jonestown. And she said she wanted to join for the sake of her children. And so, there were a lot of people that were hoodwinked by Jones. I'm not suggesting that Jane Fonda or Tom Hayden or Harvey Milk wanted anyone to die or anything like that. But they bought into this guy's his routine because he was supplying them volunteers. He was basically, funding their campaigns and then helping them on their campaigns. And so in return for that, they loved this guy. And he was mouthing back to them all the ideas that they believed in.
With your books, I tell you, I feel sorry for anybody that you get interested in because the amount of time you spend, you digging up on that Jim Jones stuff. I was reading about the reviews of the book, and they said no one spent more time digging through all of it than Daniel Flynn as he wrote Cold City. And you did the same thing with The Unlikely Life of Frank S. Myers. How many years did you spend going through dirty, dusty boxes in all sorts of places in order to piece together Frank Myers' life?
The Meyer book took 6 years, but it was a very intense 6 years. And obviously I found this, treasure trove of documents in the Altoona warehouse with, Joan Didion letters and C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien and all sorts of material. That took 6 years to write. That was very intense.
Yeah.
The Cult City book was more of a hobby, and it took me 10 years to do that. I don't know if I have 6 years or 10 years in for me for a book anymore, because they really don't sell. You're making sub-minimum wage wages if you do that, but it gets addicting.
Well, I'll tell you something. I am addicted to your work, your sense of humor, and I don't know why, but I always look for crimes committed by somebody with a face tattoo so that you can comment on it.
Yeah, that's a big Face Tattoo Update. I have a newsletter within my newsletter called Face Tattoo Update. I have another one called A Touchy Subject about teachers that get a little too friendly with their students. So we have a little bit of fun.
Listen, to help Dan Flynn not to be working at minimum wage, buy the books. And more importantly, Dan, take care of yourself. It sounds like you got over that cold. Thanks for your time. I much appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much.
Okay, so long, Mr. Flynn. There he goes. All righty, checking Nate with traffic. Nathan.
All right, North 5 on the express lanes at 80th. We've got a new crash in the center lane. You're backed up to the Ship Canal Bridge. The North 5 main line also slows from the Ship Canal Bridge in through Linwood. Seattle to Everett just hit 1 hour. Bellevue to Everett still at an hour, 10 minutes. We're solid from Kirkland into Alderwood, and we've got a new collision in Northeast 70th, blocking your left general purpose lane and right toll lane. South 5, heavy volumes from Lake City Way now down to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, right around a half hour. North 5, packed at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. Federal Way to Tacoma, you're pushing 25 minutes. It is heavy from State Route 18 into that Fife Curve. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right. I told Nick the other day, I said, hey, I got to go see my doctors over at Longevity Medical Clinic. And my wife said to me, well, wait. Why are you going there? You're going to have a longer life than me? I said, well, I've been going there since 2009. She goes, but this isn't fair. Well, you're going to outlive me? And then what are you going to do? Out and go try to find some other woman? I was like, that's not the plan, Nick. Just sign up too. So now my wife is going to Longevity Medical Clinic. And they did a blood draw and they do the test and it comes back with 55 indicators of how she's aging. And they're like, okay, we need to work on this and work on that. So the nice thing is both of us are going to have a good long life together. That's exactly what we're looking for. If you and your partner want to have a good long life together, or maybe your husband's already going to Longevity Medical Clinic, you're like, well, I should go as well. Yes, you should. Because, you made the vow for death do us part. You want to have a good long life. Because the doctors there are looking for early indicators of the signs of disease that normally take most of us out of the game. And they see them, they slow them down or reverse them. It all starts with you taking a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor. CNN called it the big lie.
A judge rules on whether President Trump can continue to claim defamation over the 2020 election.
Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna weighs in at 6:15.
Will the DOJ release the Epstein files? And after the House vote, what's next?
Join us tomorrow for all the day's news, traffic, and weather.
That's 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or AdvancedHair.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. An Amber Alert has been issued for 2 young girls missing from Montesano. Authorities say the 8 and 12-year-old sisters were last seen with their mother, Carolyn Gleave, who may be in crisis. Odessa Police Chief Erica Rose says they could be in a black Subaru Forester.
She does have contacts in other areas, but she hasn't spoken with anybody that would lead us to believe that she's heading to one particular location.
State Patrol says they could be headed to Spokane, Arizona, Utah, or California. Photos and details at mynorthwest.com. Call 911 if you see them. Congress is fast-tracking that bill seeking the release of all files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Nicole Killian has the latest.
The vote breaks a months-long stalemate in Congress.
We stated our opposition as long as possible, but we're also for maximum transparency.
And it marks a reversal from President Trump, who tried to dissuade some GOP lawmakers from supporting the measure, including conservative ally Marjorie Taylor Greene.
He called me a traitor for standing with these women.
He ultimately agreed to sign the bill when it comes to his desk.
A couple in Yelm faces disturbing child sex abuse charges in Pierce County. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun reports detectives found evidence at their home showing they planned to kidnap, drug, and abuse children.
Detectives say they found a shrine tied to sex abuse hidden in the wall. And deputies say the couple wanted to kidnap children from 2 families. Also found inside the home a female child doll, children's clothing, and multiple sets of law enforcement style handcuffs.
28-year-olds Haley Davidson and William Moore are both in jail. They are due back in court later this month. Our state's revenue outlook just dropped. Dave Reich with the Washington State Economic and Revenue Forecast Council says state projections are down $66 million from September, thanks to weaker housing and job growth.
Continues to be lots of uncertainty that I've talked about all year, so mostly around trade and other federal fiscal policy. Those change fairly rapidly.
Governor Ferguson will soon propose a balanced budget. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, it's getting busy out there. We did just clear our collision, though. North 5 on the express lanes at 80th. It was in the center lane. They're backed up bumper to bumper onto the Ship Canal Bridge. The North 5 main line slows also on the Ship Canal Bridge into Linwood. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 5 minutes. Your backup starts now mid-Bellevue into Alderwood. We just cleared our crash at Northeast 70th in Kirkland, so that's going to start help to open this up. South 5, heavy from Lake City Way to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, plan on 20 minutes on both bridge routes, but that's about to change. Westbound 520, just before Montlake, we have a new crash in your center lane. North 5 is packed at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton's a half hour. It's bumper to bumper from 520 all the way to Cold Creek Parkway. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute. You've got heavy volumes through Renton, and again from Algona into Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are drying out for tonight all the way through Friday. Looks mostly dry with highs in the low 50s. Right now, 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News in the Morning brings you the most urgent headlines, the things you need to know before you head out the door. Just like you need that cup of coffee, they'll help you start your day off on the right foot. Live breaking news, KIRO 7 pinpoint weather, and KIRO 7 real-time traffic to help you avoid those back-to-school backups. Check in with KIRO 7 News in the Morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m., only on KIRO 7 TV.
I was reading along with you.
Nice. Well done.
Well said, well read.
Likewise.
Okay, 1-888-973-5476. That's the old text line here at KIRO Radio. I know, Buc-ee's. This is a crappy song to come into Buc-ee's with. Give me something Joe and I can really rip on. Buc-ee's. 16 locations. Buc-ee's. When's it going to get going? Buc-ee's. I can't work with this. What is this? Get down on the line. This is ponderous. 16 locations, been around for 50 years. That's Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's. 16 locations, been around for 50 years. That's a long time. That's a long time to be around. That's Buc-ee's. There we go. Thanks. By the way, we do weddings and bar mitzvahs and funerals as well. If you would have Joe and I come there and sing for you. You have no place to go for Christmas.
I heard.
Should I just let some listener invite me over to their house for Christmas? I would be very entertaining for about 3 hours.
You gonna bring Rye?
Yeah, Rye will come.
Sure.
Here's what happened. We rented the barn, put it on VRBO, and I think we have like 18 people coming to stay there. Nick's running around, hey, change the sheets. I'm like, we're not going to be here for like another month. So I'm like, well, where are you going? I'm going to go back to Park City. She's going to go see her son coming in from France. Alec studying NYU there. He's coming in. And then Sammy is going to be there as well. And then Sammy's going to Mexico with her father. And then Alec will go. The father's down in Mexico. And Nick's going to go hang out with her mom. So it's like, I was supposed to go back to Philly, see my brother. And I looked up the prices to fly my brother and I fly my son and I there. It was like $3,800. Chuck said, screw that. They screw you over at Christmas. So not going there. I realized I got no home. I have nowhere to go. I'm much like Mary and Joseph.
That's right.
Very biblical here. We have nowhere to go. There was no room in the inn.
No.
Right? We're going to have to spend the night in a stable somewhere.
Question for you.
Yes.
If you rent out the barn for Christmas, does that mean you can't stay in the tiny house?
Could, but how depressing would that be? I think it'd be less depressing just to go to a complete stranger's house at Christmas time and just show up with a poinsettia.
I would also be upset if I rented a home and
know
you were
like the owners,
away.
not 50 feet, but like the guys down the end of that dirt road hanging out there. Whoa. What are you having? I smell turkey.
Stop using all the hot water.
Get out of that hot tub. Urinate somewhere else. No, I don't want to be that guy. So, like, I'm just like, well, where you want to go, Rye? He's like, I don't know, whatever. It's so depressing. So, 1-888-973-5476. We'll just show up at your house. And anybody that would have me is like Groucho Marx. You wouldn't really be a member of any club that would have you. Right. It's like, do you really want to go to that person's house for Christmas? What if it's just you and some other guy, some person that they're not getting along at all?
I did that for Thanksgiving once when I was an intern on a morning show.
What did you do?
They just auctioned me off to some family for Thanksgiving.
How was that?
You know, it was okay. Their family was super welcoming. They made a delicious meal, and they provided alcohol, and I tried to enjoy myself, but not too much.
Did you tell lots of stories? Where like, what's that guy like?
I don't remember being very entertaining, but
I think
I'm
that
an
was
open
the last
book,
impression you had as well.
Yeah.
What did they auction you off for? How much?
It was.
Did you wear a headset the whole time?
No, I didn't do anything. We didn't even have anything to record anything with back in the.
I know, but you wear a headset at the dinner?
No.
Okay. And you just sort of said, they're like, who's this guy?
Yeah, like, oh, this is the intern from our morning show. Not very impressive, but
okay.
I was trying to get a job.
I see. Okay.
It worked.
Maybe just take phone calls with people that invite me to their house for dinner, and then I could decide whose house I want to go to.
We can do that.
Should I make some money for a nonprofit in order to do this?
See?
Buc-ee's.
I don't know. If you're charging money, then you're gonna, all of a sudden you're gonna eliminate a whole class of people that could be really interesting, but don't want to spend money to have you come over.
Well, they're not giving me the money. They'd be giving the money to
I know.
Eileen Kelly. All right. Well, this is something can you tell we just came up with this?
Kick it around.
Just show it up at somebody's house. Yeah. So I am the orphan at Christmas time. Maybe
is Ryan going to go along with this? You can't.
No, I can't imagine he would do that. I think he'd just stay in Lake Chelan and then watch reruns of Seahawks games from 50 years ago or something like that. I don't know. Would he go with me? No, he would hate that kind of thing.
I would imagine.
Yeah, he's not as flexible on that sort of stuff. Like I went to that woman's house, the house up there in San Cadia for Halloween to surprise that woman, and for some reason. Instagram decides to put it into people's algorithms, and it's gotten like how many views? Like 780,000 views,
Yeah.
and most of the comments are like, "Who the blank is John Curley?" Some guy in Minnesota is like, "Why am I watching this?" I'm like, "I didn't tell you to watch it. Obviously, you're a slave to Instagram, and you had to sit there and watch me go to some lady's house and hug her."
794,000.
Like, why?
People. I don't know.
Right?
I mean, it's funny, but
yeah, but come on, if you don't know who I am, it's like some guy going to somebody's house dressed.
I think it was she was so clearly shocked by the fact that you were there that she swore right away.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes.
And you kind of gave her a little grief for that.
Yes.
So that was kind of fun. Grandma swearing is always fun.
Yep, that was good. Yeah.
Wish she did reach out after that video went viral, and she said, I would like to formally apologize for swearing.
That's fine. All right, well, maybe we'll do the same thing for Christmas.
Okay, I'm not coming, though.
No, I'm not, I didn't invite you, so don't worry about it. You're trying to invite yourself to something I'm inviting myself to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there we go. That'll all work out.
Good.
All right, fine. There we go. That blows through that segment.
There we go.
We're not going to, never going to get, we'll say that for tomorrow. Put that in the stuff we'll never probably talk about. The Allen Park postal worker says they needed to keep working while the man's body was stuck in a machine. I assume the man's body was no longer functioning as a human body at that point.
No, it had not.
And they're like, hey, nothing to see here. Move along. Don't worry about him.
Switch stations. Everybody move.
We'll get him out of there. Don't worry about it.
Actually, they made the employees help get him out of there.
Oh, my good. This is the post office?
Yeah.
Well, neither rain nor sleet nor snow or Bob's body stuck in a machine. What machine do they have there anyway?
That's a sorting machine.
Well, didn't sort too well.
No.
Okay, well, there's that story.
Done.
We'll save that one for tomorrow.
B in Puyallup says you're welcome at his place.
Who?
B in Puyallup.
All right. What are they having? Do I have to bring gifts?
No furniture, so we'll be sitting on the floor watching TV. Hee-Haw Aaron invited you over.
Yes, of course.
Elena said you're welcome at Ursula's house.
Oh, that's right. Ursula does doesn't she do like an orphan's Christmas?
Maybe. If she does, I've never been invited.
I invited a whole bunch of people that didn't have anybody to go to their house like 3 years ago at the barn. Nick wasn't there. And I bought probably $800 worth of booze, and every single person there's like, I'm on the wagon. I don't drink anymore. Everybody was like, no one was drinking, and just sitting there like, wow, it's gonna be a.
That happens to you a lot.
And this one woman said, I invited Heath, my friend, my best friend, and this woman goes, my dog's name is Penny. He goes, okay. And she goes, like a penny? He goes, yeah, I got it the first time. She goes, I named the dog after Penny, like a penny. He's like, okay. So that's now become A running joke for us.
You just mock all your guests.
No, I'm not mocking.
Oh, okay.
Shush. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
All right, John, westbound 520, we're approaching Montlake. We've got a stalled vehicle in that center lane, and you're back to bumper across the lake. Bellevue to Seattle has gone up to a half hour on 520. We're still at 20 minutes on I-90. South 5, heavy from Lake City Way to I-90, which isn't bad for this time of day. Linwood to Seattle will take you a half hour. We've got a little crowding forming now through Linwood. North 5 approaching Northeast 45th. The crash blocks your right lane. That's got you bumper to Denny Way. Bellevue to Renton is a half hour. You're solid from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 40 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 50-minute commute. Pretty heavy through Renton into Kent and then packed from Algona into Puyallup. And Tacoma to Olympia, we're at 50 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I have been on the injured reserve list now for 7 years. I have not run in 7 years. Can't ride my bike, can't run because of this hip problem that I've been telling you about. And when I went to a doctor, I said, I got to start running again and I got to start exercising again. And my doctor's like, well, this one doctor I went to, well, you need a whole new hip. Like, eat gads. And then I looked at how long am I going to be out for? And then I started to do some research on it. It may or may not work. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. Sort of a last chance before surgery. I went to go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. I sent my MRIs over there and my x-rays over there. They're at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. And he looked at them. And Dr. Wagner's looking at him with a guy who's done more than 20,000 stem cell procedures. He's like, oh, I see the problem. Yes, let's do this. So I go in. It's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. I can't wait. Tomorrow I go in. I don't know if Dr. Mark Wagner is going to say, yep, you know what? You can start running again. But I'm waiting to hear those words. So if you've got a bad shoulder, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is that's kind of taking you out of the game, you owe it to yourself to go see Dr. Mark Wagner. You can find him at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you. Because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Gosh, you can't freeze your wife nowadays and then date other people. I can't believe this is got such a big stink bomb around it.
One of the most popular tropes in science fiction is cryogenics. Despite the fact that no one has yet been successfully revived from such a state, hundreds of people around the world have already been cryogenically frozen. Among them is Zhan Wenlian, the first cryogenically frozen human from mainland China. In 2015, she was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Her husband, Gui Junmin, who had been her childhood sweetheart and life partner, couldn't bear to watch her suffer. Around that time, China's first cryonics facility opened, and he agreed to preserve her body in hopes of a second chance. Right. In 2017, Zhan Wenlian officially became China's first cryogenically preserved individual. After she was placed into the cryo chamber, Gui shed tears and declared to the media, "In 30 years, I will be an old man, but I will wait for her to wake up." His words moved millions across China to tears. But just 4 years later, Gui Junmin revealed that he now had a new girlfriend and was planning to remarry, showing off an engagement ring to prove it.
Hold on, Teeny. Hang on. Who lives in a jar? Okay. Well, first of all, so he signed a contract for 30 years. So she went in there and they froze her at 47. So like 30 years now, he's 87. So she comes out of the defrost and she's 47. She's not going to want to deal with that guy. She's not going to want to be, right? So like now that he's dating somebody, now going to get married to somebody else and they're making a big deal about it, how horrible this is. But the other woman must know that you got the first wife is frozen. She's just playing the odds that they're not going to be able to defrost her. And if they did defrost her, she's 47. She's not going to want anything to do with an 87-year-old. I think this works out for everybody. No, he's not fooling anyone. He's not fooling the new wife.
It's true.
Right? So why is everybody making a big deal about this poor guy with whatever he went through? He said he had gout, and for 2 days he was living alone, and he realized, I don't get along, I don't move very well, I need a sort of a utilitarian girlfriend, he referred to her as.
She must love that.
Yeah, so then, she's just sort of there and, wish the best for both of them. And if maybe they defrost her and she's like, hey.
We're a throuple now.
Yes, that'd be a big thing in China. Yeah, you're freezing off putting the old lady in the icebox there.
Sure.
Yeah. So what do you get them for a wedding gift? I think that's kind of nice that they have a long, prosperous, healthy life together.
I'm guessing he's got a lot of money, and their love story was clearly very popular in China. Him and the Frozen wife.
That would be a good Hallmark movie, right? Where he goes to a small town.
Meet some big city woman.
No, he's the big city guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Goes to a small town, and there's a woman there that runs an ice cream store, right?
Yep.
And then he falls in love with her because she's involved with ice cream. And his previous wife's in a freezer, and then there's fake snow that doesn't defrost on anybody's shoulder. That's the thing you can't help but notice the entire movie. All right.
You should get into movie writing.
Ooh.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. I don't know where I came up with the theme.
Yeah.
Repeat over and over again. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, we cleared that stall westbound 520 near Montlake Boulevard, but it left you with a bumper-to-bumper backup from 92nd to Montlake. Bellevue to Seattle is going to take you 35 minutes. We're at 25 minutes on I-90. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. You're packed from downtown to the Ship Canal Bridge, where we've got a collision mid-span taking up the right lane. Once you clear this backup, you're in the clear just briefly before you enter another backup at Ravenna Boulevard, and that carries all the way into Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, also 1 hour. You're slow from mid-Bellevue to Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle has gone up to 35 minutes. You're slow in Linwood, and then packed from Ravenna down to I-90. Tacoma to Olympia, a 55-minute drive. We're slow through South Tacoma from State Route 16 into Lakewood. Just a couple miles back up near the JBLM main gate, and then more slowing as you head into Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, Home Comfort Alliance wants you to know that the cozy warm weather is here, and then there's some cool weather coming in the summer. You want to be cool in the summer. So Home Comfort Alliance system is going to be there for you. Now, when you go shopping on Black Friday, if you're going to be online, you probably don't think much about, well, should I buy, golf clubs, something else, a sweater or something? How about something that's going to bring you real comfort? That's right. Home Comfort Alliance is having a Black Friday comfort sale. This is going to be running through the 1st of December. Exclusive savings, 25 to 75% off when it comes to heating, backup generators. Oh, I need one of those. EV chargers, water heaters, electric upgrades, everything. So think of Black Friday for you and Home Comfort Alliance, bringing you real comfort. How about a mini split? You can sleep better in the summer with air conditioning as well, and your system is over 12 years or older when it comes to water heaters. You know what? There's a pretty good chance the thing's going to fail, so let's fix it now. So buy now, replace that. You save a whole bunch of money, 0%, 18 months financing, OAC. So Black Friday sale is going to be a comfort sale with Home Comfort Alliance. You can schedule a consultation before the 1st of December. You're going to save up to 75% off. That's Home Comfort Alliance. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news.
A minimum wage increase proposal is moving forward in unincorporated King County.
KIRO News Radio.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83 or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83 or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83 or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83 or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, it's Brock Ewart here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. Moving swiftly today, the House and then the Senate approved a bill that requires the DOJ to release the Epstein files. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Without objection, so ordered.
The Senate has now passed the Epstein bill as soon as it comes over from the House.
CBS's Erica Brown on what happens after that.
So the Epstein Files Transparency Act stipulates that after this bill is signed into law, those files have to be released within 30 days. It compels the Justice Department to release all unclassified materials, records, communications related to Jeffrey Epstein, as well as related to the investigation into his death in federal prison.
And President Trump today renewed his call for Democrats who associated with Epstein to be investigated.
Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did.
The Trump administration is taking more steps to sharply reduce the size of the Department of Education.
Massive layoffs at the department were just the beginning. Now comes delegating programs to other agencies. Education Secretary Linda McMahon described this as a pilot program.
Because I want to prove to Congress that these transfers of programs are more efficient and that they work.
Acknowledging on CBS's The Takeout that only Congress can actually eliminate programs like special education. She added, with test scores going down, it's clear it's time to make some changes.
We are clearly doing something wrong.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
We've learned that about 250 federal agents will take part in a major immigration crackdown in New Orleans beginning December 1st. Here's New Orleans Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick.
We are expecting that. It's just like the National Guard. We know that they are coming.
A panel of 3 federal judges today blocked Texas from using the congressional map that Republican state legislators drew in hopes of picking up 5 U.S. House seats. The 2-1 ruling is a blow to President Trump's efforts to have states draw more favorable maps ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson on the reasoning behind the decision.
The ruling makes clear that the reason that the maps that were drawn in Texas were illegal is because this was racial gerrymandering. not political gerrymandering.
It's the most valuable work ever sold by the famed Sotheby's auction house. Gustav Klimt's portrait of Elizabeth Lederer has sold for $236.4 million. It was another jarring day on Wall Street following a sell-off in European and Asian stock markets. The Dow closed down more than 1%. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Searching for 2 missing girls in Western Washington. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, let's see. Seattle to Everett is a 1-hour commute. Your backup actually starts now at the West Seattle Bridge and remains solid all the way into Linwood, and we're really thick up to the Ship Canal Bridge where we have a stall mid-span blocking that right lane. Bellevue to Everett, also 1 hour. We're solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle is a 35-minute drive. Got a little crowding in Linwood, typical stuff, and then it's packed from about Lake City Way to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, we're at 40 minutes on 520. You're packed from 92nd over to I-5. Half hour on I-90, you're slow across the lake. Renton to Puyallup, we're at 50 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, also a 50-minute commute. You're slow through the length of Tacoma from State Route 16 into Lakewood. Just about a 2 to 3 mile backup through JBLM, and then more slowing as you head into Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granello. An Amber Alert remains active for 2 young girls missing from Montesano. Odessa Police Chief Erica Rose says the 8 and 12-year-old sisters were last seen this morning with their mother, 40-year-old Carolyn Gleave, who is believed to be in crisis.
Obviously, children are a vulnerable category in our society, and we want to do everything that we can to protect them and do right by them.
And Gleave may be in a black Subaru Forester, possibly traveling towards Spokane or out of state. See photos and details at mynorthwest.com and call 911 if you see them. Big cuts are coming to Seattle-based Providence Swedish. Hospital system plans to slash nearly 300 jobs in the Puget Sound region. This is due to shrinking reimbursement revenue and cuts to Medicaid. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports most of the layoffs are hitting non-clinical and administrative roles. Swedish says bedside staff will be spared. A Washington Democrat sparks a fight inside her own party. This stems from a House vote today to formally rebuke Illinois Democrat Chuy Garcia.
The vote was 238 to 186. Garcia announced his retirement too late for challengers to file. That left his chief of staff as the only candidate. His fellow Democrat, Washington's Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, pushed the measure, saying voters deserve a choice. Washington Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner agrees. He spoke with the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
Shame on Congressman Garcia for depriving his voters.
Democratic leaders have blasted the resolution as misguided. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
First baseman Josh Naylor says he could not be more excited to suit up again as a Seattle Mariner.
Obviously, we fell a little bit short, but I can't wait to run it back with them because they deserve this. The city deserves it.
Naylor addressing the media today after he signed a 5-year contract that keeps him in Seattle through 2030. The deal is worth $92.5 million. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Going to see some morning fog tomorrow, but we'll stay dry with some sun breaks in the afternoon. Highs in the low 50s. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granello, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination.
Oh, good.
Beyond it is another dimension.
Oh, wow.
A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Wow. And you blink, there's flatulation. Is that how that works? I just had to put some sound in there. Okay, here we go. That we also know is the John Curley Show.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Did you change clothes?
No. Diving into the I have to rush out of here. So I got to leave here, so I'm going to leave early and got to be dressed like this.
I see.
I got a backup job.
Thanks for letting me know.
Sorry about that. Yeah, now you know. All right, let's get Sarah Nelson on here. Sarah Nelson, our city council president.
Hello.
I told you, Sarah Nelson, don't come on this show. Everybody that comes on this show is running for office loses. It hurts my heart. It must hurt yours as well, both professionally and personally, that the voters of Seattle, 36% or whatever that turned out for this thing, chose somebody else to move the city in a different direction. As they always say, there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal. Are you a wounded animal right now, Sarah Nelson?
I wouldn't put it quite that way. I am disappointed, but the voters have spoken.
You know, when history is written and read, hopefully, they'll see when Sarah Nelson was the president, you tried as hard as you could in a sort of Sisyphusian way to push that rock up the hill and hope that it stayed. You did some good stuff.
I would like to think so as well. I mean, I ran to change the direction or to help change the direction of the city and also the culture of city council. And I do think that I've succeeded in part in that, but there is still a long way to go. But when you think about where we were in 2021 with people living outside in unsafe conditions in public spaces, with a council that was fairly anti-law enforcement. Now you've got a council that is bragging about how many public safety related bills they've been able to pass in a couple of years, 34, by the way, once the SPOG contract is voted out. And so that is a difference in culture. And I do think it's resulting in benefits for our constituents. And there are so many other things that I would mention as good. Also, the fact that small businesses are front and center in people's attention, not just because of that's not just a pro small business stance. Those are jobs. We need to keep those jobs in the city. So, I could go on and on and on, but I do think that we have a council that is more attuned to what the constituents in this city want.
I think the other part of it, other than running through a list of wins and losses, that hopefully the legacy left behind is that you can be somebody that disagrees with Sarah Nelson emphatically, but you'll still see her with an open hand to say, okay, I want to hear your position and what is it that so maybe we can find some sort of compromise in here, right? Rather than just a hard line, smashing back and forth at each other. That's what always struck me, that you were, open-minded, but not empty-headed, and you would fight for what you believed in and then scrap as best you possibly could. Like when you asked for more than $1 million and they kept cutting it lower and lower and lower. So just give me some money so that I can take somebody who's homeless, that I can get them treatment, that I can get them off of drugs because I believe they're a better person than what they are. And rather than showing compassion by allowing them to lay there in their own waste product, let's pull them up. I'll take whatever you can give me, and I'll use those dollars effectively. To me, I think that's some of the last work that you did there, and hopefully that continues somehow. Even though the voters have decided they'd like to have somebody else in there. And you're too kind of a person to bash anybody, but I was surprised at the last vote. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. We find out that the city's got an even bigger deficit problem, and they find out that they're going to need to raise some funds. So they can't raise the funds by additional permitting fees on large construction. So well, then let's go after the little guy.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, the rationale is that basically they base the amount of the fee on the value of the project, okay? And so there have been fewer and fewer big, huge projects because things are really complicated and financing sucks right now. And so those big projects have slowed down, but we need to build housing. We've got a housing crisis. We need to keep any of those housing projects in the pipeline going forward. And what does SDCI do is they propose an increase in the permitting fees. And it's counterintuitive, but the smallest projects are getting the highest percentage fee increase. For example, a project that is basically worth $50,000 gets the lowest fee amount gets the lowest dollar amount of project is receiving a 50% fee increase, permitting fee increase. The largest, which is over 200,000, or maybe it's 200 million, my math in decimals has never been good, they're getting a 15% fee increase. That makes no sense whatsoever, and it will worsen our housing problems. But note, that is just the permitting fee.
Right.
That does not count the hours extra that developers of any size are paying for the permit review process, and they charge currently $498 for 1 hour, and that hourly rate is going up to be $551. Meanwhile, they're making so many mistakes as they are reviewing permits, the staff at SDCI, that there are constantly corrections. So basically, some bureaucrat will sign off on a permit and say, okay, this is good to go, and then somebody else down the line will say, oh no, you can't do this. And then there has to be a correction made, and that's more hourly money. One architect described that to me as nothing short of corruption. It's like a self-enrichment. I don't think it's bad faith that way, but we're sending the wrong message that if we want businesses to come to Seattle, to open up here in Seattle, if we want more housing, we do not raise fees right now. That raises the cost of housing, and it also says this is not a friendly place to start a business or grow a business. Let's go to that city across the lake.
Right. You know, I think what I was reading in the Seattle Times, that the other choice was to reduce staffing, and they didn't want to do that.
Well, let me tell you, if they knew they had this problem months ago, first of all, they could have figured out how to make up the projected $8 million that they will have a shortcoming for. I've been complaining that they have at least $10 million year after year after year on average, sometimes more. That is underspent. It is just sitting in a fund, underspent every single year on projects, on appropriations that council said, do this. So they're not spending the money that we're giving them for our priorities. And they have this cushion at the end of every year that they can carry over for whatever expenses they want. Take it out of that pile of money. There are slush funds abounding in different parts of our budget, and I say take it from there instead of jacking the fees on people that want to build things in Seattle.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a developer, and he told me just a quick story. He said, so we put the sidewalk in, we needed to get the permit, so on the October 4th, I sent a letter to the city, to the permitting department saying, okay, we're all set, come on out and check out the concrete because we want to pour it before the rains start to come. He said he didn't get a response back until the 18th of October. I was like, what? He goes, yeah. Okay, then here's the question. What did that cost you? He said $50,000. Because the way it works is you take a loan from the bank. Now you're paying on that loan, right? So you got to pay the interest on the loan. You got to hurry up and get the property done. You got to wait for the permitting to be done. It all has to take time. And then by time, because the permitting, the delay and everything, that's additional cost on top to pay the interest on the loan. You take all of that cost, all of that expense, and you just put it on top of the apartment. And now the apartment that was X is now X plus whatever the interest was. What they'll just take all of this permitting and they'll pass it on. So this idea of quote unquote affordable housing continues to be, you know, this idea that is always out there in the ether. They don't really want affordable housing. If they did, they wouldn't continue to add additional cost to the people that build houses.
Right. It's layer upon layer of additional unnecessary bureaucratic fees that are in part making up for the fact that too much time is being taken by staff. And so they need more staff. And instead of doing things right, instead of being really competently interpreting the building code to be able to say yes to architects and developers, this works, go do it. You know, they start with no, and then there are these problems along the way. Here's what I would like to say. I've always said that we need to better align our regulatory environment with our policy goals. And if we want more housing, we need to remove the barriers in our regulations. And we don't seem to have gotten the message per this, this new law that unfortunately did pass because only 2 people voted against it. I'm disappointed that I will not be able to continue with my efforts to reform permitting, the biggest nightmare in the city that slows economic growth and makes housing more expensive, because we were able to pass a couple bills that fixed a couple things, but there's so much more we need to do to really make it easy and to have this welcome mat in our city saying, come here, open a business in a strip mall or a standalone on 3rd Avenue, we want to help. We'll start with yes. Instead, we layer on barriers and then make it really expensive.
You know, if they went to single permit or one permit or just 2 permits, well, that would mean that a whole bunch of people that work in the permitting department wouldn't have jobs anymore. So
that is correct.
Right. And
that was their argument yesterday. They said if, last year we had to fire or we had to let go. Well, first they started saying we had to let go of 29 positions. Well, those were not all filled. 5 people did have to be let go because permitting was down because of a lot of things with the macroeconomics and some of the things that the city was doing to make it harder to build here. The point is, yes, those people had to find different jobs, but they had months to plan for this need. And there was no mention of it until the last minute. And this package of like 30 pieces of legislation was rammed down our throats in one budget session.
So one would get the impression, with sort of a jaundiced eye, that perhaps the government is there not to serve the people, but to serve the employees of the government. There's a great story about Milton Friedman going to, I forget where that was. He went to some work site, and he said to the guy, "Why are they using shovels?" And he said, "Well, it's a work. We're trying to get more people to work, so we've given them shovels as opposed to a bulldozer." And he said, "Well, if you really want to create more jobs, why don't you give them all spoons?"
I don't. I will not say. I have to assume.
Careful there, Sarah Nelson. I see you editing yourself on the fly.
Yeah, I am. The fact is that we have a responsibility to the greater Seattle. We have a responsibility to our constituents. We need to make sure that we're not losing people to Kent because we're driving up the cost of housing here. Our responsibility should first be to our constituents and secondarily to our employees. And usually those should be hand in hand and working in tandem. But if we're not, we really do have to think about how we can run government better.
This new mayor you have has got quite the task ahead of her because there is a bit of a deficit. And she's going to be facing that. And this is the first number has come in that permitting is down. You'll see that sales tax is down. You're also going to see that commercial real estate, the taxes that they pay, are also down. So she's going to, as she mentioned in her speech, her acceptance speech, that she has some tough decisions to make. And then I think it was yesterday she followed up with a whole list of people that she wants to hire. You name it. If there's an alphabetical, like if you LGBTQ, Two-Spirit, every single sort of DEI hire that you could have, she said those are the people that she's looking to first to solve some of these problems. I don't know if that's the best way to go, to hire somebody based upon an immutable characteristic or who you like to have sex with. But that's kind of what she's leading with. It's going to be a very, very rude awakening for her once she really gets a good look at those numbers.
Yeah, and you say things on the campaign trail that might not end up being super practical when you're in office. I wish Katie Wilson well. I do think that she wants what's. I agree with many of what she wants for the people of Seattle. The question is, how do you get it done? And when you spend a campaign season talking about the need for more and more and more revenue without really focusing on starting with looking at whether or not what we're doing right now works, that's not a good recipe to me, because there will never be enough sources of revenue to make up for the underwhelming processes that we keep piling on to our policy, to our policy goals. Again, it's about how do our regulations support our policy goals?
Sarah Nelson, you've been in there for a long time, so you sort of can read the tea leaves or the energy that is in there at City Hall. Are we going back to 2021? Are we sort of trying things that didn't work before, but now we're really going to try them much harder? I mean, what do you sense?
That I sure hope not, because you know what? In 2021, there were encampments all over the place. People were living in encampments, being preyed upon by people that were taking advantage of their addiction, and people couldn't use our parks. We were failing in the basic job of local government, which is to deliver basic services. And I do not want to go back there, and I certainly hope that that's not where we're heading. But I did hear Katie Wilson say and take a pass on a question in a campaign event about whether or not she would clear encampments from parks. Same with my opponent. we have a responsibility to our constituents to maintain our parks for their intended use. So I hope to God we're not going back there. I want to think positively, and perhaps you will see that there is so much resistance to the people that are going to want audiences with her in her first few months that she maybe has to moderate some of the campaign promises or ideals she had to match what is really doable and what her constituents are going to demand.
Well, listen, Sarah Nelson, we'll end the interview at this point, but you'll continue to talk. But I want to just say that I appreciate the passion that you have, the love that you have for the city. I think that will still exist. I think the feeling of Sarah Nelson and what you believed in and the votes that you got throughout your years running for office, there are still people that are hungry for your intellect and your passion. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you, but I know that you haven't given up on this city, and the fact that you wish Katie Wilson well and anybody else that's replacing you will also. What are you doing in there? What are you doing?
You didn't. I wanted to say I did have, the very first time you had me on your show, you talked about, this meeting where I was questioning what is the harm that's being reduced by distributing these supplies that help you smoke meth and fentanyl. Yeah. One of the things I was able to do in this budget was to prohibit the use of city money for these supplies.
There you go.
These are folding techniques for the foil that are given out, with meth pipes from our public agency. Yeah. And so I did prohibit the use of public dollars for that. And, you got to take your wins when you can get them. Got a lot of money in the budget for really comprehensive evidence-based treatment. So I'm hoping that I'll be leaving some pockets of money that can be used for good.
Hopefully so. Well, maybe what they should do is just start taxing all the fentanyl users, and maybe they'll go away as well. Sarah Nelson, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome. Let's check Nate. He's got traffic for us. Nathan?
All righty. That drive between Tacoma and Olympia is starting to get real busy. South 5 at South 38th, we've got a new crash in your center lane. Down to DuPont at Stillicum-DuPont Road, a crash in your left lane. And then heavy backups heading into Olympia, partly due to an earlier collision on westbound 101 at Crosby Boulevard, and that had traffic backed up onto the freeway. That collision now sits on the right shoulder, so we've opened up that portion of the backup. Tacoma to Olympia, taking right around an hour. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. We're solid from the West Seattle Bridge into Linwood. We cleared that earlier collision from the Ship Canal Bridge. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour still. We're still solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle, down a bit to a half hour. We're heavy in Linwood and then packed again coming out of Northgate down to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're at 35 minutes now on both I-90 and 520. And we've got a big crash in Renton, northbound 167 approaching 405. It's blocking 2 right lanes. Your backup starts just past South 212. Auburn to Renton at 25 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I'm telling you, it is so nice to have an organized house and a happy wife. Maybe the thing should be happy wife, happy life, organized house. Doesn't rhyme, but it still works. You see, Closets by Design came out to the barn in Cle Elum about 3 months ago or something. And the consultant, who knew more than we could possibly imagine, when she customized everything, the master bedroom, the other closet, and then she completely redid the garage. I thought this thing was going to be an arm and a leg, because here's what I loved about Closets by Design. They're family run. Been around for 22 years, and they don't come in with a box of parts and just try to jerry-rig stuff in there. In fact, when they built, Closets by Design built an entire cabinet for us in the laundry room, they made sure that the wood on the cabinet matched the woodwork in the laundry room. That's customized. That's exactly what we got with Closets by Design. So if you've noticed that the house is disorganized, start to pull out the holiday decorations and it's just a complete mess, why not get organized? Get new closets. Organize the garage. Whatever it is that's causing the stress in your house, Closets by Design comes in there and brings you peace. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor. CNN called it the big lie.
A judge rules on whether President Trump can continue to claim defamation over the 2020 election.
Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna weighs in at 6:15.
Will the DOJ release the Epstein files? And after the House vote, what's next?
Join us tomorrow for all the day's news, traffic, and weather.
That's 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really work for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Black Friday deals are back at Dania Furniture. For a limited time, discover incredible savings on Nordic-inspired furniture and decor for every space in your home. From statement pieces for your living room to instant upgrades for the dining room, bedroom, and more. It's the perfect time to refresh your favorite space or reimagine your entire home. Dania Furniture. We make it simple. You make it home. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo, keeping up on this Amber Alert for 2 young sisters. Troopers say the 8 and 12-year-old girls were last seen with their 40-year-old mother in Montesano around 6 this morning. Odessa Police Chief Erica Rose says Carolyn Gleave may be experiencing some mental health issues.
It's a very sensitive case because there's children involved, so we can't divulge a lot of additional information.
Now, she says they may be in a 2014 black Subaru Forester headed to Spokane, Arizona, Utah, or California. We've posted her license plate and photos of Gleave and those girls on mynorthwest.com. Congress is moving fast on a bill to force the release of all Epstein files. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
Let the truth come out.
Let transparency reign.
That's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer moments before the chamber agreed to a procedure, meaning it has effectively passed the House version of the legislation without amendments.
This isn't about Democrats versus Republicans.
President Trump, who tried to prevent a vote, now says he will sign the legislation when it reaches his desk. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Today's votes on Capitol Hill coming after months of bipartisan pressure to force a vote. Hundreds of National Guard troops deployed to Portland are being sent home now. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has the updates.
Portland residents like Rick told me days before the National Guard troops arrived, there was no reason for them to even be there.
I've been here on the weekends where there are maybe 20 people, and they're peaceful.
Now, U.S. Northern Command agrees, calling their move right-sizing their footprint. 200 nationalized troops will now head back home to California, while 200 troops from Oregon will be reduced to just 100. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Military is also reducing the number of troops in Chicago and L.A. More money problems. In Olympia, state economists now expecting less revenue than thought through 2029. Projections are down about $66 million just from September. This is thanks to fewer housing permits and slower job growth. The Office of Financial Management says it is a relatively small adjustment. Next month, Governor Ferguson is set to release his proposal to balance the budget. At 5:33 now, we go to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All righty, Tacoma to Olympia, an hour and 5 minutes. We cleared our collision at South 38th, but it left us with a solid backup that starts at the Tacoma Dome. And it's also jammed up eastbound 16 starting at South 19th. Now, once you get to 38th, though, you're going to clear out all the way down into JBLM, where we cleared another collision at Stillicum DuPont Road, so those backups are starting to thin out. And our backups in Olympia are beginning to thin out as well, so we're heading in the right direction. In Fife, North 5 at Porter Way, a collision blocks your HOV lane. You're backed up to 54th. Let's see, in Renton, northbound 167 approaching 405. This collision was blocking two right lanes. They've moved it over to the left lane now, so you're backed up to South 212th. Auburn to Renton is up to a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way will take you 35 minutes. Stop and go from Inner Urban Avenue to State Route 516. Linwood to Seattle, a half hour. You're slow in Linwood and then heavy from Northgate to I-90. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 1 hour commutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly dry the rest of the work week. Some morning fog tomorrow and afternoon sun breaks. Right now, 47 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, on the John Curley Show. I'm going to blow out of here right after this segment. I'm sorry about that, Joe. I told you.
I heard.
All right, spin the wheel there, Teeny. We got only two jobs. Wilcox Finley Farm Eggs recipe wheel. The names of all the players are on the wheel, and it's spinning around. And from where is Andrew? Wow, Andrew lands on you. Lucky you.
What's my recipe for today?
Yeah, what is that recipe for today?
I think you take an egg.
Yeah, you start with an egg. That's good.
Egg in one
Not
hand.
just any egg, but a Wilcox Family Farm eggs recipe.
Farms eggs friendly egg in your left hand, and then you take a football in your right hand and you smash them together, throw the ball, and have a Seahawk catch it to make a touchdown.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They call that.
Very exciting. I know what they call that. They call that Andrew's making something up on the fly. That's what they call
exactly
that.
Right.
All those recipes, including that crappy one, is going to be in the book, leather-bound book, sent to your house on a daily basis. That's the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipes, brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs.
Yum!
As I turn around and look at a small woman in a glass jar. Here we go. New information comes out that people are getting dumber. On average, the IQ has been dropping in the last 25 or some years. We're down 14 points. So, yes, the theory that we weren't getting dumber apparently was dumb, and now the Flynn effect is in effect in reverse. The scientists that have been studying this thing, it's a number of things. They said it could be environmental. All right. Education, nutrition, and then media consumption. But overall, those of us in the United States and in the other parts of the world where they were testing these things, a 14-point decline in IQ. At this point, if it continues within the next 6, that can't be right. In the next 12 months, 40% of Americans will not be as smart as a dolphin. Well, that's concerning. I'm just doing the math real quick.
New American, like born in the next 12 months, or
no, just continuing decline. People getting dumber and dumber.
We're all just actively.
Not all of us. Excuse me. Not all of us are involved with education and nutrition and media consumption, but just overall, people have gotten dumber. For a while there, people were fighting that. No, the test or this, that, the Flynn effect was that's, we're not getting dumber, we're actually getting smarter at different things. But now the new study that comes out goes, nope, stop trying to say, we're smarter about smartphones, but that doesn't count. Altogether, we are only doing better in one particular score, and that is spatial relations. And then they're like, oh, that's because people play Minecraft.
It's true.
That's it. The rest of the stuff, we're like not scoring so well. And then people are like, well, that's okay. That's fine. We're just, maybe we're not as bright. You see it all the time. You see people doing dumb stuff all the time. But overall, just our intelligence level continues to drop. So I put it in there in the chat. If we are losing 14 points over the last couple of years on IQ, where will we be in 50 years? What percent of the population will be dumber than a dolphin? And then it took me into this whole thing of like, I don't know where you got that idea. Dolphins aren't dumb. Now I'm arguing with chat. And I realize, it's shrinking my IQ.
Have you ever seen, I know the answer to this, but have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yes.
You have?
I have watched that movie, right? The guy was he frozen and then he got defrosted?
I think that was, how it started.
And then he turns out to be the smartest guy because he had been frozen for like 40 years or something. They defrost him. And he was an average IQ person or slightly below, but everybody else was so unbelievably dumb that the president of America,
the professional wrestler,
right, who then chooses him because they were having crops were failing, a whole bunch of problems. He's like, and he's the smartest man. He's going to save us all. And he came out and did we have the I don't know, there might be some curse words in there. I won't be able to play it. But the guy that came out to do the State of the Union address, the president comes out, great big muscular guy. He's got like a gun. He's firing it all over the place. People. And the poor guy that had been defrosted and came back to life like, oh my God, look how dumb everybody is. And then suddenly he was the smartest guy in the room.
Right. And as we inch closer and closer to that movie being almost like a reality show, it's frightening because 15 years ago when that came out, it all seemed so far-fetched.
Right. Like, we can all laugh at this.
Oh.
But now, like for instance, Trump is in there, was it yesterday or today? So he's got the Saudi prince in there.
Yeah.
And there's one from ABC News while the prince is there asking him about the journalist who was beheaded.
Yeah.
And then also asked about how about the relatives of the victims of 9/11 because we know that Saudi Arabia was funding those guys. And the president says, hey, don't be asking rude questions like that with the princess sitting here. And then when they were asked about, well, how about, was it Khashoggi? Was that the guy's name, the journalist who was beheaded? Khashoggi, right. Then the president goes, well, things happen. I mean, it's like
a lot of people didn't like that guy. So
he didn't have a lot of fans. Yeah, as they sawed his head off. Yeah. And then we said, well, sometimes things happen. I mean, that's not like something from Idiocracy where the president is saying, well, the Saudi Arabian prince is sitting there that was involved in the murder of these people. Yeah, don't worry about that.
It is.
I can't air any of the.
Is it way too dirty?
The first word is S, and then this first sentence has two more of those words in it. So no go, unfortunately.
Wouldn't be going anywhere. Yeah.
The city-sized Costco's. There's like homeless people living inside Costco.
Were there people in the movie? Yeah, it's a fun thing, but then all of a sudden you realize, ooh, maybe this isn't fiction anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So I just keep looking like, okay, longevity medical clinics can extend my life. I got about another 30 years. I just see it all the time trying to get off an airplane, and people just can't quite figure out how to get off an airplane. You really see how dumb people are. So if I'm ever stuck in the back, I just put my head down, Just breathe. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. I'll be fine. Don't look up at people who are all of a sudden awoken from a coma to realize, oh, we've landed. Oh, I forgot I have a overhead. I have got a bag. I wonder where it is. Oh, it's in the overhead. I wonder what it looks like. Oh, I'll just take my time while, 465,000 of us, or whatever number of people are on the plane, waiting for you to come out of your stupor and then, struggle with your bag. Oh, my God.
Your pajamas.
Oh, the pajamas, please. Yeah, how dumb people are.
We should all become cryogenically frozen. So
and then wait, and then...
Yeah.
And then we come back and then we're the smartest people. And then you're like, hey, how about William Burroughs from Naked Lunch? Like, what? That's a book? What's a book? Book? No, I'm looking for dolphins to be smarter than all of us. They're smarter than 20% of the people in New Hampshire already. So that's a start.
Wow.
And pretty soon they're going to have us swimming around and then all the dolphins will be there. I'm going to have us running around. The dolphins will enjoy us like getting out of a plane.
Yeah.
And they'll all be like, ee, that kind of thing. All right. Nate's checking traffic for us. Joe, what are you going to do while I'm not here?
I don't know.
Okay, good. Good plan. Speaking of intelligence. Checking traffic. Here comes Nate.
Tacoma to Olympia has already improved to 50 minutes after clearing a couple of earlier separate collisions along the route. In Fife, North 5 at Port Way, a collision still blocks your HOV lane. That's why you're backed up bumper to bumper approaching 54th. Over in Renton, northbound 405, your on-ramp to southbound 167. We've got a stalled semi partially blocking that on-ramp. Renton to Puyallup, however, we've improved down to 40 minutes. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett is still about 1 hour each. I-5 is solid from the West Seattle Bridge into Linwood. We cleared our earlier collision off the Ship Canal Bridge about 20 minutes ago, but that backup is still thick. Bellevue to Everett is solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park. You'll catch a break, and then you join that North 5 backup through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, still a half hour. We've got a backup in Linwood to get through, and then it's packed from Northgate to I-90. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Houses are starting to sell. I can tell you that because my wife sells houses, and I know that Mike Novak, this guy sells homes. In fact, he sells more homes than anybody else because he is really aggressive. If you're going to put your house in the market, make sure that Novak's sign is out there in front of your house. He is so certain he's going to be able to sell your house. Here's what Novak says. He says, you tell everybody, Curly, that I will sell their house in 21 days. If I don't, you don't have to pay me a commission. That's a lot of money out of his pocket because Mike Novak spends about 70 times more than the average agent to make sure that your house gets seen and shown and sold. He just has the system that works. He knows when to get that house on the market, pricing it right, getting people to see it, and getting them to put the offers in. So Mike Novak's name in front of that house when you decide to sell, because people are selling houses now, you've got to go with Mike Novak. So the best way to get in touch with him, go to meetthenovaks.com. That's Meet the Novaks. I'll spell it for you. Novka. Novak. Novak. Meetthenovaks.com.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players.
From Lakewood to Lombardi, Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G? Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Copstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com and let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com.
Time is running out to save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. Now through the end of the month, save big on home comfort systems, generators, water heaters, and more. Plus, take advantage of 12-month interest-free financing and get your home winter ready before the chilly season starts. Trust the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest to be your dedicated home comfort company. Call Bob's today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Carpoolers using the SR 167 Express toll lanes now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
All right, just a little warning to everybody out there. Raccoons in America cities are morphing. I read the whole article. I can't figure out why, but apparently their snouts are getting shorter than the more rural raccoons that have longer snouts. They think it has something to do with what they're foraging for, perhaps the female raccoons find shorter snouted raccoons more attractive, so they're having more babies, and now you're getting a division between the longer snouted raccoons and the shorter snouted raccoons. You'll recognize them. So if you ever see a long snouted raccoon and you live in the city, you're like, hey, it's kind of a country coon. He's out there just running around the backyard. So like,
lost?
Is he lost? Put him in the car. Put him in the car and take him, right? Yeah. Which leads us to the panda's thumb, which is a crazy fun story. So pandas use their little hands to strip bamboo. What happened was one of them had like a little knuckle, like a small bone, and it was able to strip more bamboo leaves than the others, so they were stronger and they were able to procreate. And then what happened is those that had the little knuckle on the side of their little hands began to sort of take over, and there was an evolution of the thumb called the panda's thumb. And that was a theory of evolution. So that had a small anomaly, the small knuckle just continued to grow more and more. And then the pandas have developed a thumb in order to get more leaves, in order to be able to have enough, strength to be able to procreate. Huh. And that was the evolution of the panda's thumb.
So do regular bears have thumbs?
Do regular bears have thumbs? Well, bears have claws.
Right.
Okay. But a panda, I guess it's in the bear family, and this is uncomfortable that you're asking the host something he doesn't have the answer to. He's
do that all the time.
Yeah. Andrew's going to look it up.
Nate'll Google it.
Well, most bears do have thumbs. Thank you for coming to me.
Yes.
Nice.
Wow, that's it. Just definitively.
Well, the giant panda has what's called the false thumb.
Yes, which we were just talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's an enlarged wrist bone.
Yes. Thank you. What is the panda's thumb for 400, please? I'll take evolutionary species, Darwin for 400. What would be the worst category you'd think you'd have up there if you're playing Jeopardy? Suddenly, you have a horrible dream, you wake up, or in your dream, you find out you're on Jeopardy.
It would be mathematics of some sort.
Yeah, geography would be my worst.
Yeah, or pronouncing last names.
That's the category. Moving on. You have minus 200. All right, checking Nate. He is buzzing in and taking traffic for 400, please.
Yes, it's still a very busy commute across the region. Tacoma to Olympia has improved, though. We're down to 45 minutes. Your biggest backup is now a solid 3-mile backup past the JBLM main gate. Now, Federal Way to Tacoma is a 40-minute drive. Typically, this is a 20-minute commute. You're packed from State Route 18 all the way down to 705. In Fife, North 5 at Port Way, a collision still blocks your HOV lane, so you're backed up bumper to the Port of Tacoma Road. Tacoma to Federal Way, you're closing in on a half hour. Over in Renton, North 405 at northbound 405, you're on ramp to southbound 167. Still got the stalled semi partially blocking that on ramp. Isn't really slowing you down too much. Renton to Puyallup overall is improving. We're down to 35 minutes. Still heavy between Algona into Puyallup. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. You're solid from the West Seattle Bridge all the way into Linwood. That's a 23-mile backup. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour. Solid from Kirkland to Alderwood. Still really thick through Kirkland. And Linwood to Seattle, we're at a half hour. Still got this backup in Linwood to get through, and then it's packed from Northgate to I-90. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Closets by Design came out to the barn, probably about three and a half months ago. The nice designer sat there with Nick from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock and came up with a plan that neither one of us thought of. Because when Closets by Design says they're going to customize, that's exactly what they do. They don't come in with a box of parts and try to jerry-rig everything in there. They know, with all their years of experience, exactly how to maximize the space and give you great quality. They've been around for 22 years. They're family run. I was absolutely surprised by how affordable it was when it was so customized. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. So if you want to get organized, you've got to get Closets by Design. You can simply call them up, you set up a consultation, they come to your house, and they come in there and really give you the peace of mind because everything has a perfect place for you. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma,